everybody, welcome to another round of Canje Plays, and today we are going to dive into this beast that is Story of Many. So I did receive a preview copy of this from the developer, so thank you so much for sending it and allowing me to preview this game. Um, there's a lot here, not in a bad way, there's a lot here though. So if you're getting this game, you're going to be getting a sandbox world with a lot of different avenues to go through. Now, what you're going to see in scope of this game is going to be a preview copy, which means things are subject to change. This is just kind of the prototype of what's here. That being said, it looks fantastic. The world map I love, but think of it as just kind of a sandbox world that you get to journey around and experience it, as well as a little bit of a dungeon crawler mixed in. Not a little bit, a lot of it, of a dungeon crawler mixed in. So you'll have varying and different options to do on your jaunt around the world. And yeah, and it's just kind of like this free roam, free feel of the game, and it's gonna be interesting. Now, for a lot of people, you have to determine what works for you. If you are into sandbox games, where they give off that feel of kind of like a party, how much ever players you want to play, but a party going through this ever-changing, expanding world, finding, seeking out rumors, fighting in dungeons, shopping in different various areas and all the things that come up with it with the daily events that happen, then this lands in kind of where this lands in that sweet spot for you, right? Um, I played this with the developers. They played it with me twice, and I've got a good sense of things. I haven't been able to dive fully into it because there's a lot of real life event stuff that came up for me, but I'm going to do the best I can. We do have one of the creators in the chat, which is Sulfurnan. So welcome, George. So let's see what we have here before we dive in, because this is a lot, and I want to make sure I get to everything I can, should I say. Citherell, hello, NC Official. Kate, what's up? Ad Hoc Skirmish, hello. Chris, hello. Razef, hello. Cynthia, what's going on? Phil, Pete, Jess, and Brian, hello. Okay, so Lucid, how's it going? Super excited for this game, but still a little unsure about the combat arena. Yeah, and we'll get into that as well. All right. Before I begin, I just want to say thanks to my patrons who make this all possible, subscribers who've got me over the mark, you make it possible too. And if you're neither and you're just coming to hang out at the table, check this game out, see what it's about. Thank you and welcome as well. It's going to be an interesting play, but because we have the devs in there, if I make a boo-boo, not a kid boo-boo, but well, that too. But if I make a mistake, they will definitely help and answer as best as they can. So, okay. Yeah, no problem. Thanos, hello. Oh, Thanos, hey. Okay. All right, let's go ahead, get down to the table. And I'm rubbing my hands because when you see the table, you're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, this is a lot." But it's really not that bad. It's not that bad. Let's get down to it. Okay, this is the game. Look at that. Everything. It's so crazy. It's a lot. But it's actually not a lot. It's a very approachable game, with lovely things that you're able to do, and it is setting up to be expansive on the board. So this is my camera zoomed back. As you can see, my hands are here, so you see how big these character boards are. Remember, this is prototype. I know for a fact that I was told by George and Thanos that these boards are going to shrink, so they're not so big. They're not going to be as big and as expansive. They are going to shrink in and get smaller, so that makes it a little bit more approachable. The world that's here is big, but it's big because it needs to be. There's a lot that happens here in this sandbox field that's here. and there's so much to go over. Okay. Like I can run through it. I'm trying to figure out where to start. All right, so we have our characters, and these are pre-gen characters that they built for me to play. And one of the things they said that I know Rolling Solo did a stream of his of unboxing it as well as doing a play, so you kind of get a sense from his channel. Or if you haven't, check out Rolling Solo. He has a playthrough of this as well, where he does recorded content, so he can zoom super close and you can see all the different angles and stuff. This is the view you're gonna get from me. I can zoom in on certain aspects. So like here, we can look at the map and get a little bit closer look to it. We'll be able to look at the character sheet in terms of when we're doing days, and I'll explain this. And then we've got the two character boards that we're going to go over. So I will do my very best. As Tony Horton says, do your best, forget the rest, right? Okay, so how do we begin? I have two pre-generated characters that were created by George and Thanos for me to play, and I am going to pull those up so you can see and I can explain that from the beginning stages of how to play this. And if you have any questions, remember they are in the chat. So ask questions about the Game Found campaign that's starting in 2 days. Ask questions about just kind of any things that you have as I go through, or any nuances that you see that you're curious about. Remember, they're in there to answer any questions you have. Let me pull this up because here it is. There we go. Okay, let me go ahead and pull this up so you all can see. Okay, so this is my pre-generated character. Will this have foreteller? No. No, it will not. It will not have foreteller. All right, so this is my pre-generated character that you're going to see on the left, which is Dej, who is going to be the barbarian character that I'm going to play. You know me, I like to roll dice and hit things. That's what I do. You mean I have to actually read? I was elected to lead, not to read. Yeah, so oh, looks like George says that they were impressed by the game, so they're in discussions with Foreteller. There you go. I know as of this preview there wasn't any, but fresh news. I like fresh news. So when you start your character, you pick a race, which is human. So you'll get, and I'll hold it up here for you to see, a human card. This human card is either male or female. You get to pick, but it's double-sided for your choices. So you pick this character. I'm picking, so my character's a human. It just kind of says, hey, that's who you are. And then, Alex, thank you so much for subscribing. And then you pick a class, and my class is barbarian. And when you take the barbarian class, what you get is you get this card here that just kind of says, okay, it tells you about the barbarian class, but then it gets down to the meat of your character build, because you will be building your character. It says how much health, how much might you have, how much, and I have the book that tells me all of it, and I put it somewhere, now I can't find it. Here it is. The second symbol, that is there's a lot. There's symbology to stamina, how much stamina you have. And then you have weapon types that you can wear, armor types that you can wear, the starting gold that you start with. The spheres, which we'll get to in a second, because when I scroll down, you'll see spheres, and we'll talk about that. The spheres basically body, melee, and survive. So I want you to think of this as kind of, as you're upgrading your character, you're unlocking these spheres that gives you new abilities or new stats or things to build out, and we'll take a look at that in a second so you can see how it shakes out for this pre-gen for you to start. You also have these skills that you get with it. So you get endurance as a skill, and then you get to choose one from acrobatics, athletics, herbalism, and nature. So you get to choose whichever one you want, and that is kind of your starting skill for your class that builds out. This guy, that guy. All right, so basically that's how we start off. So as you can see, endurance is down here at the bottom. I don't have the lovely arrows that Steve does. And athletics was the second one that was picked. Notice that the health is at 11 instead of 10 for reasons, right? So human, Dage is the name, and then we get our build out. So we have these two abilities that we have innately. We have this image that I have of the barbarian that we're gonna slide in, that you have, and these are slide in sheets that you get, but here are the spheres that we have, and I could zoom into this smidge. So remember it said your spheres that you're gonna have are body, melee, and survival. So these are the ones that you get to upgrade path through. So for body, I'm starting off with these two items here, which gives me hardened skin, and then another one that gives me another set of abilities. You will get this wonderful book. You're like, what does all that mean? What the huh? Who? Where? You will get this book called the Book of Spheres. Once again, prototype, it will be different. Look, it'll be a lot cleaner than this when you get it. When you pop it open, you'll see body, and it'll explain for you what all these things mean. So that symbol's endurance, that's athletics, and then you could come down here and you can read exactly what those mean and how they break down per tier. And each one of them is a tier that you go through, right? So let me put this here, and then I could zoom in just a smidge for you to all see. So where's my pencil? Here we go. My pink pen of pointing. So with endurance, you would just kind of slide down and read endurance. You are trained in endurance, right? Athletics, you're trained. It's another skill that you get, which you're trained in athletics. Then you can increase stamina, but you can move around the sphere and move through and start as you upgrade and get these different tiers that you have. There are dice. We will get to dice. We'll get to dice. All right. So let's see. Yeah. So for every class that you pick, you'll get access to 3 different spheres. So remember, his is body, melee, and survival. And as you gain upgrades, you get to tick off different checks in those different ones. I mean, there's a lot in here for these ones. There's this one I really was interested in playing, but I decided not to. It's destruction. So you get that. There's the melee one. You have ranged for survival, witchery. That's right. What witchery is this? And then you have these sub tiers that are here that we'll go through when that time comes for the different classes. So each class also has a tier that they go. So those are your skill classes, and then you have the warrior class, which you start off with Path of Rage, and then you move through. So not only do you have skill-based tiers, you also have class-based tiers that lets you build that out as well. So I start off with Path of Rage as the barbarian class, which is the symbol, and I can actually do upgrades and path through these as well. So very modular, very, very modular for you to upgrade your character with the Book of Spheres that you're going to get. I want to make sure I'm covering everything. I'll check the chat in a second just to see if I've answered all. And as you can see, here's the barbarian one right here. So it all shows up on the sheet that's here. These sheets are on the back of the character boards. But as you can see, melee doesn't have anything checked off in it in this pre-gen. The barbarian does, and I believe this is survival, right? The survival one does. So my main character, well, one of my main characters, because I have Path of Rage set up, I get Path of Rage, the ability. And this ability says it's an instant ability. So when I use it, instantly it takes effect. And it says until the end of combat, gain +2 might, +2 stamina, 2 temporary health, and immunity and fear immunity. At the end of combat, you will suffer fatigue. How do I know what all those symbols mean? Only because I played the character a ton, but because the keywords in the Book of Adventures at the back of it, the keywords are here. So fear, which is the symbol that's there, and then here are your attributes like strength, stamina, And then of course, hearts is health. They have keywords for things that happen down here. So I have the legend that I need to answer a lot of those symbology questions that are on there. And I think that those symbols are needed because there's a lot of information on the card, and the cards are smaller. So the cards aren't sitting here like honking big cards. They are small ones that you get to use. Doop. So character building. So I gain that Path of Rage. I also have a trait ability called Hardened Skin, which means I can use this once per combat and get +1 to my shield when I'm defending, right? So think about that when I just said once per combat. That means that it's not okay. I need to take a long rest. Yes, D&D players, you all know what that means. But if it doesn't mean that I need to take a rest to be able to recharge that, it just means when I get into a fight, or even before I get into a fight when I'm walking around the world, if I use that ability, then it's exhausted until I get into a fight, and after the fight is over, then I get the ability back. It's the same thing with Path of Rage. When I use Path of Rage, I can use it in an adventure environment when I'm sandboxing around, or I can use it in combat. But if I'm in the adventure one and I use it, it is exhausted until I have combat, and then at the end of combat, it comes back. So hopefully that makes sense. You have the areas for your stats that are up here. So once again, D&D players, yeah. This is your max health, right? Which it's written in as your max health. That number can go up as you upgrade your character, but it's just set at your max health. And as you take damage, you don't erase and go from 11 to 10. You keep 11, and then you just start adding damage cubes, which are these things. You keep adding damage cubes to this until you get to 11, and then guess what? You're knocked unconscious. This is kind of I think this is a neat little piece here. Personally, this is for round conditions and how they apply to your rounds. So at the beginning of the round, if you have a condition that's there until next round, you put it there, and then at the end of the round, it'll go. Or sorry, if there's something for end of combat, it'll go there. Yeah, day after tomorrow it goes live. So this is a nice little condition tracker for if you have like bleed or poisoned or dazed or stunned or whatever. You put them in so you know when your turn comes around, when the next round comes around, you know when to take it off. So it's there instead of having to remember, hey, did I get that this time or that time? That's how it goes. So we're moving down the sheet. This is your defense. There are 3 types of defense. They are slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning. When enemies attack you, based on the number of die and your modifier, they're attacking a specific type. So they could be, once again to the D&D players, if they're doing slashing, you'll be doing a block against slashing. If they're doing piercing, you'll be doing a block against piercing, or if they're doing bludgeoning, same thing. So if an enemy attacks you and it is bludgeoning, you'll roll this one down here at the bottom. You roll a d6 plus 2. If you beat the number, basically, if you beat the number, it's not meet or beat. You have to beat the number that they have to hit you, and if you do that, you block. There's no damage. But if you don't, then you take the damage that gets hit. So it's not meet or beat. It is beat only. If you meet it, so sad for you. So these are your saves. So this is I'm assuming that's supposed to be grit instead of git. A git save. Can I get? No, it's grit. So this is grit. This is reflex, and this is will. So if I have to do a grit or reflex save, y'all, D&D players by now are like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it, because it's playing very similar to that, right? So your skill words that you have that's on here, and then you come to your armor build outs. The max weight that you can hold in terms of armor before you are encumbered for the players is for the barbarian is 6. Right now I have 2, and on the card of the ability, because you don't keep the cards. I gotta go to the weapon one so I can show you, and this is the maul. You don't keep the cards that like on you. You just write down their stats and set them out. So let's take a look at and compare and contrast. So for instance, we have the maul, which is what I have, right? So the maul, if you were going to buy it or sell it, you're going to get 2 money for it. You're going to roll a d10, right? Its weight that you can see, you see the 2 anvil symbols, that means that it's a weight of 2 for you to carry. It's going to be doing bludgeoning damage, and that symbol there says that you have a chance to crit. And when you crit, you roll the die again, and then add that onto the damage to see how that goes. So critting is fun. It's really fun. You have, so this is a tier 1 mace. Keywords is mace, melee, 2-handed, and it has swiping, which means arc slashing. You hit everybody in the zone, right? Every enemy in the zone when you swing it around. So while it would be cool to hang on to this, so you have those keywords to go, you just write those on your sheet of paper, and then you put this back with the rest of the items, because you can find more as you explore. You can build those things out, and you don't need to build up your hand with a bunch of cards where you can write it on a sheet of paper. So that's why that is there. So as you can see, it kind of matches up, right? If I roll it weighs 2, so you saw the 2 anvil. I'll roll a d10. I'll add my strength modifier to it, which is +4. It's doing bludgeoning damage, as you can see here. And the crit is +1, so if I roll a 9 or a 10, I crit, basically, on this weapon. And then I have hide armor, which gives me +1 to these different stats, but that's on the sheet. It doesn't have a weight to it, so boom, boom, boom. There you go. Is this making sense to everybody? Let me read first. Let me do some reading. There's a lot of stuff flowed in, so let's see. Let me scroll back. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. I see the foreteller one. I would totally pay extra for foreteller. Yeah, I would too. If the board is going to be made smaller, would that also reduce already writing space? They're coming with a different design on this Lucid Monk, so I think it's just kind of a different way to show how to put all that down. Excuse me. Also, what will the size of the board be? I have a smaller table size. Ooh, that's a good question. No, we're keeping the writing space as is. It's just the board will shrink down. Plus, the backpack slots will increase slightly. Excuse me. Plus, the backpack slots will increase slightly, as we want the fit coin capsules for the tokens. Get a +1 for stamina stat. Yep, I know. The size of the world map's there. Is writing on the player sheet the only option in terms of recording info? Once the campaign ends, there will be, yes. Once you go into a dungeon, this map comes off the table for sure. So that's there. I love the quality of the product so far. Hard to believe this is an early prototype. Yeah, and it looks pretty good. It looks really good. Love upgrading characters. I do as well. Some even 4. Okay, cool. I haven't seen them because I've been playing with these 2 characters. Most playtester chronicles had a little notebook to record each piece of info, lore, riddle. So Story of Many is basically a GM-less RPG. It is. It's D&D without a GM or DM, whatever you're putting. Crowdfunding is going live in 2 days. So Tuesday. Archivist Owl, hey all, Angelo from the Story Mini team here. I'll be around to also answer any questions people may have. Sweet, got the whole crew. Whole crew's fun. I don't know what you're talking about, Brian. So hopefully delivery will be in like 1.5 to 2 years because I will be close to retirement at that point. That's awesome. Uh, no comment on Foretell just yet, but news maybe very soon. TM. For solo players, Foretell is amazing. Yes, it is. And if you're going to play this game solo, you have to play 2 characters. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, my handwriting is atrocious. This is why I'm showing you this, because when you see my handwriting, you're going to be like, okay, did a 1-year-old do this? It's very RPG-ish, so that makes a lot of sense. Yep. Barbarians only ever sneeze loudly to scare away ghosts. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? Hey, yeah, I've really been looking forward to this game. Yeah. If you always start yawning, I get to say I told you so. Hopefully they'll be able to finalize the game in less than 3 years. I think so. The game is pretty much there. What you're seeing here is just a few of the cards, especially if we go into like a cave system or in a jungle setting. The dungeons are completely different, but these, even though you're going to see, oh, it's only a few cards, it's actually more than that. Initial thought is to create homebrew skill cards as a cheat sheet reference. You could, Tim. You could, if you wanted to. It's your game, right? If make it work for you the way you want it to. If you have wondrous items get placed at the bottom, so you get to hang on to those. Here where it says wondrous. Your tiered stuff that you have in abilities go on the side. So tier 1 abilities go up top, as you can see here, and then tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4, that's over here. Same thing on the right side. So they make enough space for you to place things down. Like I said, on the back of your character card, there is these spheres that you get to upgrade and bring those out. I can probably show you one for your viewing enjoyment. Yeah. So here's the seer. Blank ability that's on here for if you choose the seer class. So this is how this will sit, and then if you flip it over, this is where all the spheres are. So the seer has access to the seer class stuff, and then there's actually 4: death, holy, conjuration, and divination. So there's 4 for the seer that you can have, that you can build out. Now if you do a pre-gen, it'll come set up for you, but if you don't use a pre-gen, you get to select your starting based on the rules that are in the rulebook for you to build that out. I'm going to be using pre-gens, so just keep in mind you've got a lot of options. Hey, Successful Geek. Hey, Beth, how's it going? So, but this is what the sheet's going to look like for this to build out. To be honest, I mean, this is where the backpack is. The backpack slot's here. This area here, personally, I don't think it's necessary, but they need it for this, so I guess that's why it makes sense. They don't want to shrink this down too small, because then it becomes very hard to read as you're building these out in the Book of Spheres, right? What you could also do, and what I thought about doing, because I'm like I said, this is prototype, but these are my thoughts on kind of what I thought about doing. I thought about I almost used a really old term and said Xerox these. I'm so old. You could scan these. You could scan these, and then you'll have this on the side for you, so you don't have to keep popping your character sheet out and flipping back and forth, right? That is an option for you to do. What ends up happening is after you fill out your character, you'll take the sheet that's here. Xerox. So many people will be like, what does that even mean? And you'll slide it, actually. I'm having trouble because I'm laughing at myself. But you'll slide it in. Oh, I already had one in here. That's funny. You'll slide it into these grooves. Oh, I'm having trouble today. It was the sneeze that did me in. There we go. But you'll slide it in, and there you go. There's your character board. There's the slide in. There it is. Boom. Fits. All in. I'm hitting it against my hand. I'm shaking it. It's in there, right? So it's not sliding around in there. It's a pretty good fit. But there you go. So it slides in, and when your game's done, you slide it out, and then you get another character and you slide that in, and there you go. All right, so that's what that's what these are. So these boards are kind of, I was saying they probably need to shrink it down and cut off about like this much, and then you're good. And you're good. So, okay, let's get on with our character stuff. So barbarian's my first one. The second character I'm going with is the cleric, Kyrnis. Maybe a graph. Oh, Chris, why? Why? All right, so this one, of course, my max before I'm encumbered is 3, but I have 2 on here, which is a morning star. Now you understand what the stats mean and how these break down. But the cleric has a shield, and this shield allows you to increase a die on defense by +1. So if you use the shield, you get +1 to it, which is pretty great. Oh my gosh, do y'all remember the what do you call those, the shoot, it's gone out of my head because my teacher used to use one when I was in school as well. It was the overhead projector, the one where it shines a bulb on like this clear sheet of paper that shines to some glass that goes to a screen. Do you remember that? The overhead projectors? Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. Y'all got me going down old school. Okay, so 1 will and 3 wisdom, 7 max health. So, and then we have the rounds, and if we have to defend, we're rolling d8s. On saves, it's d6s, but if you notice on saves against reflex, it's -1 because, you know, clerics in armor, clunk, 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 that goes on. So one of the things I was reading in the rulebook about this race, which is a Necrians, which is this race, the Necrians that are here, and remember this is double-sided for male and female, is that they love to do stuff with dead. So they have one of the skills I have is undead flesh, which gives me abilities against undead. I also gain mend wounds, which it says it costs me an action to do this, so it's not an instant. It costs me my action, and any ally heals for 3 health. If I upgrade into this symbol here, then I'll get +2 on it, which is fantastic. Successfully. Thank you for being a member for 6 months. Thank you, thank you. And I also get Eulogy, which is an ability, but it has a trigger to it. So it's an ongoing ability with a trigger. So the trigger is you damage an enemy. So if I damage an enemy, it then triggers to say another ally gains +2 attack until the end of round. So if the cleric goes first, then I get the beat, and I damage the enemy on my roll. It's kind of like I distracted enough for the barbarian to get that +2 attack to do this. And once I unlock this, requiring destiny, I get this bonus to increase to +2, which is pretty darn cool. So Eulogy is pretty strong for what we gotta build on. Yeah. All right, and this is the cleric build, which there you go. There's 4, so it's holy, law, defense, divination, and then you have the cleric class. The cleric class gives me the mend wounds that's on here, and then we have kind of one of the build outs for divination, which I believe is the eulogy. Yep, it's a divination class, so you set those out. Okay, there are other pre-gens in here, like fighters, the pre-gen, paladin, which I did want to play. It was a toss-up between the barbarian and the paladin, and I was like, no, I gotta go with the paladin. I gotta go with the barbarian because that's just fun. There's a pirate you can be, a Reaver Witch, which sounds insanely powerful, a Rogue, typical classes, Seer, which I showed you the sheet of that, Sorcerer, so you get to hurl some spells, but you're a little spongy. And these are the pre-gens that were that were sent to me. Now, I believe, and George, let me know if this is true, but I believe there'll be more pre-gens in the release of the game for people to select from. I could be wrong, but I do believe that is the case. They'll say call shenanigans if I'm incorrect on that one. But I do believe there were going to be some more pre-gens for people to select, or you can build your own character on what you want to do. Okay, okay. So we've done all of that. Done all of that. We got our cleric class. We got our barbarian class that's here. We've got this lovelies. We've got a character setup. When you go on an adventure, you for our characters to start, we're going to get 3 food each. 3 food each, and basically food helps with some things that happen. It can also heal you for 1, all that good stuff. We also get a camping gear. So there's the camping gear. I know the book's in the way. But if you flip it over, thank you so much for doing this. If you flip it over, it tells you what the camping gear does. You know, we've been talking about wanting this in a, we've been talking about what, like, everyone needs to do this with tokens. I think Barrett mentioned it as well, is that if you have a token, just on the back of the token say what it does. And it does here, camping supplies. So it fits in your backpack. It requires 1 food per adventurer to camp. And then there's the image of it on here. So great on you for doing that. Really appreciate it. And this goes in one person's backpack. And as you can see, it slots in. This is your backpack. This is how much you can carry in your backpack slot. So it fits in your backpack slot. Each character also gets, like whenever you're starting off, you get this one time completely only burn to take one free action. As we're starting off an adventure, that's what we get. So if I'm like, oh, I did my action to mend wounds and I still want to attack something, I'm going to burn this to do my free action to attack. And then I don't have it anymore. It's gone. Let it go. We did character creation. Next up, we come down here. So this is your adventure sheet. So this is how you track your adventure across the world of Varda. So you'll put up to 4 players, so you'll put your adventurer's name on there. And as you move through, as time progresses in your adventure, you mark off days on the calendar. So summer, autumn, winter, and then you just keep going. But there's a lot of stuff for you to do. Like, there's a lot of boxes for here. So you could just kind of wander to your heart's content to build these things out. Let's see. Barrett, what's going on? All right, it looks like everybody's answering questions and everybody's being old like me. So basically, name of your adventurers, and then here you'll fill out, and I'll show you how this is filled out because we'll fill those out. If you get any keywords in your campaign, those get written in down here so that you can remember them as you're going through your campaign. This is a small version of the world of Varda that's here. So look at that. If you want to use this instead of the big map, you can, in my personal opinion, choose whichever works for you and your table space. But if you open it out, hey, look, it's a small version of the world map. Look at that. Fantastic. And it has these symbols on here because you can check them off as they become available and cross them off as they become completed as you play through. So I know a lot of people were saying, hey, I'm worried about your map. It's beautiful. It's big. You know, all the guys are jealous of seeing how big this map is, right? It's the massivest map we've ever seen in our entire life. Here's a smaller version for you that fits in the palm of your hand that you can have. So they've thought of a lot of things ahead of time. The developers have thought of a lot of things ahead of time for people. So if you're also saving your game, this is kind of like a save tracker. But personally, as I said, you could also use it as a world map if you need to. But it fits in the palm of your hand, and all the guys won't be jealous of how big your map is. Okay. On the back, we've got achievements. So as you get achievements, you check those off. Any discoveries that come up, legendary enemies that you've slain come up here. The last region you were on, you could write in here. It's huge. So you get, so basically as you build those off, as I said, things pop up. And when you get the specific numbers, you see these numbers that are on here, and I knew you were going to be like, hey, what are those numbers? They're even on here as well. Those numbers are this one, are located in a book of adventures. That's more story for you to go into and read, and all those wonderful numbers. Look at that, numbers for you to go to. So in the book of adventures, there are forward, there's the mission, the overall mission that you're going on, how the requirements you'll need for it, the starting city you'll start in, how hard this campaign mission is, so 1 difficulty, and how much time it'll take for you to play it. So there you go. Then there's a lot of stuff to read, a lot of stuff to go through as you build up, and we'll get to all these. But then mission 2 has different as you go through, and this is the campaign book and the book of adventures that you go in. But at the back of it, there's also, and I'm showing it from this angle, we'll go through these things, but there's also dungeons that you can do. These are kind of mini dungeons, one and done dungeons that you can go through, and when you complete them, you're finished. So there's the overall campaign that you're going through, as well as mini dungeons that you can encounter along the way. Yeah. All right. So that is this. So we've explained this. We've explained this. We're on the board. We're not even an hour in, and we're on the board. Sweet. So this game comes with minis. This game comes with some minis that you're going to use. Oops. There are these 10 commandments. So, but it comes with minis that you'll be painted. These are primed for you to use. 1 in dungeons. Yep, some minis that you get that you can use for what you have, and I'll put that down so you can stop phasing. And you paint them up as you need. These are just kind of primed for painting, so that's why they look like that. Of course, you know they'll be gray plastic when you get them. This one specifically is the one that's going to be tracking your movement on the board. I have, you have ones for the different classes that you can be. So I have the Barbarian Mini, which looks pretty sick. He's got like insane abs. I'm jealous. I got a keg. He got like a 6-pack. And then we've got the Paladin. Let's see, a Cleric. Cleric that's here for us to use. Okay, so we're ready to dive into this game. Brian, I feel your vitriol. All right, so the foreword of this. Greetings and well met. Stay a while and listen. Greetings and well met, one of the many. As we say in Vanvaros, welcome to a land of endless strife and sacrifice. This doesn't sound welcoming. A world where nations ebb and flow on tides of magic, shaped by forces unknown to the mere mortals. But it is also the time for the daring and the fortunate to seize their fortunes, and command great power over Varda. Adventure awaits! So about the book, it kind of tells you how it runs through it. It says, okay, start of tier is a 1 skull enemy, and each full clock symbol that you see in terms is about 90 minutes is what they have, and difficulty level that's there. So each adventure is split into 4 major cities. The major cities are Vanvaros, Backdoor, stop it, remember, Sunday, Sunday, children. Backdoor, Vanvaros, Murdenhall, and I forgot where the other one was. Biscuits. I forgot where the other one was. Because this is the red. That's that one. That's that one. It's around here. I lost it. It's gone. It's gone. Oh my god. Yeah, I forgot where the other one was. Literary intrusive thoughts away. So those are the 4 ones that are set up basically for you to do. So so we have a specific area we start in. There's some clues that's built out. And when you start the game, yeah, I already did Murder Hall. Murden Hall. I already did Murden Hall. I'm looking for the other one. So there's Murden Hall, Backdoor, Chuckle is a 12-year-old, and then Varos. So when this game begins, you do seed the map. So everyone's map will kind of be a little bit different based on some rules. And when I say seed the map, I don't know if you should be able to see, like right here. You see that? Those little stickers? I want you to think of these seeding the map as kind of like Gloomhaven when it comes to playing those items. You will get this, which is Murdenhall. So you'll get these things of stickers that you get to place on the map. They are removable stickers, so don't think that, oh, I'm going to sully my map with stickers. No, they are removable stickers for you to do. And when you seed the map, you're putting in places of interest, which are kind of like rumors on your adventure. You'll be putting in dungeons that are on here. You'll be putting in some treasure that you could potentially find. And then just in pure Gloomhaven, yes, they're removable for sure. You'll be putting in pure Gloomhaven fashion locations that you need to go to, right? So when I got this game, it was pre-seeded, and I think that the devs wanted to do that to make every person who is going to be doing a preview have a different feel of the world around them, right? So mine was set this way. So we've got Waystone here, which is one to go to. We've got Flames of Revenge, which is up here. But then all these rumors and dungeons and treasures are just kind of littered throughout the map that you get. And you can remove these stickers once you've completed that rumor. It's done. You pull the sticker off and it's over. But also keep in mind that if you don't, because this is a beautiful, beautiful world map, if you don't want to do that, you got your mini map, right? And on your mini map, you can check them off there, to not only for saving, but for that. And as you can see, it's a smaller version that you get, right? So there you go. There's your options. Okay. So the world is pre-seeded for what we want to do. Determining which mission we're going to do will determine your starting location as well. I know I'm taking my time through this because I know everybody's saying, hey, get to gameplay. But I'm taking my time through this because once I hit gameplay, we're off to the races. I will be stopping to explain things, but I don't want people to be like, hey, what's that? Hey, what's this? I'm trying to give you as much coverage so you understand what you're getting into. One, you understand kind of what's available to you in this world, two, and then you kind of get a sense of what's happening. We will get into gameplay. I promise you we'll get into gameplay. And gameplay is going to go very smoothly, but I just want you to understand kind of what's happening around. So, so basically, let's say, which I probably will end up starting here, but when I'm in the city, I have some options I could do in the city. I could do, this is the one thing I did ask. They said that they were going to do that's combine all these symbols on, 1 to 2 pages so people have them. I just have to make sure I have the right thing for this. Because usually I go to this. This is my default for legends and keywords, but there is another. And I want to make sure that I find the right one so I could tell you where everything is. Anyway, in these major cities, you have things that you can do. You can go to an alchemy shop. You can rest at an inn. You can go to an armorer. You can go to an herbalist, or you can enchant things. There's also, I'm not turning the car out. Oh, the Book of Rumors. Thank you. Thank you. It's in the Book of Rumors. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here it is. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The Book of Rumors has this random roller that's on here, which I will be using. But nope, it's the same thing. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's different. It's different slightly. Some of it's the same, some of it's not. This is why I said to them, hey, put this on another. You need to put this in one centralized location, and they did say they were going to do that. So don't think of it this way. These are rumors. Yep. Mini dungeon. Yep. Yep. Hidden treasure. There you go. We got a shrine down here that we can use. Story arcs that we're going to be using. There are short adventures that you can do that are on here. There are legendary enemies that'll pop up on the board. Services. Thank you. So the services are down here. So there's the smith shop that's here. Armor and weapons can be bought and sold. There's the herbalist. Herbs can be bought and sold here. There's the grand emporium, where items can be bought and sold. The alchemist, which is here. And there's the curiosity shop, which is wondrous items and stuff that can be bought. But there's also this symbol on some of these. I don't know if you see that symbol right there. That's an anchor. That is a river dock or a sea dock. That's how, in these cities, are how you charter a ship to go to places like Swordfish Fen to get this gold, or get to these pirate islands, or the Empress Reach to get to the shrine. So you can actually go on these, once you get here, you can sail to these locations over on this side, or you can sail to another port, which is here. But you'll charter a ship, and then your adventure continues on the high seas. And you could dock here like at Pearl and move off and continue on your venture, or sail over here, like move your character as you adventure throughout the day dealing with events, moving over here and then coming through and doing what you need to do, right? So sailing is an option that's in this game, which is pretty darn cool. Because when I saw this, I was like, okay, how do I get here? Do I just walk on water? And he's like, nope. You have to go to a place with a dock, get a ship, and then you could sail over there. So there is sailing in the game. Isn't that great? Put these over here. Okay, so all of that has been explained. Let's dive into the world of Varda, huh? How about that? That sounds good. Sounds like a good idea for us to do. Sounds fun. Nothing but absolute laughs. Okay, we are going to start with the Doom, the Waystone. So the Waystone, Western Heartlands, which is where we're going to be starting. So everything is also color-coded, but it's also labeled. Thank you. Luckily, these colors aren't so close in comparison that I can tell their difference. But if you see it's green here, whenever you're like, where is that? Where is that located? The green, if you then kind of seek out the green colors that are on here. But here it says Western Heartlands here in green, so it kind of tells you, hey, it's going to be in this region that you're looking for. So there's no requirements to start in this. Our starting area will be Vanvaros, so that's the city we're going to be starting in. This is 1 difficulty, and it says it's going to be about hour 45 minutes. Yeah, hour 45 minutes to play. We'll probably be long dead before then, but that's probably about as long as the adventure's going to be set to. So in Vanvaros' bustling Waystone Square, an albino woman from the Trigale Guild recruits you to collect rare Sangratera to help restore ancient teleportation pillars. With a promised reward of 60 Galeri, which is money, you venture west to a blood reed-choked ruin. Just 60 gold. Who wants that? One of the busiest places and a landmark of the city port of one of the busiest places and a landmark of the city port of Vanvaros is the Waystone Square, a place of jovial activities, heavy drinking and lazy walks on the paved square. It was named after the discovery of a long forgotten relic, the Waystone, a set of 3 pillars forming an arc, capable of teleporting an individual to other Waystones scattered on distant places of the world. Nowadays, the Waystone pillars lie in ruins. As you decide to visit the exhibit, you come across an old-looking woman, remarked by her albino skin, snow-white hair, and penetrating black eyes. Yeah, that's trustworthy. The woman notices you with a smirk. She invites you to lend an ear. Are you eager to earn some good galeri today on behalf of Targale Guild of Merchants and Researchers Extraordinaire? You see, we are running out of time, and the places of interest are far too many. A group of adventurers just left for the narrow slit of Murangol. Our goal is to retrieve precious Sangratera crystalline rock formations that are wept from the earth. Yet Sangratera is labial? Labial? Sure. Uh, favors damp places and has to be collected strictly only during summer dame. Given a sufficient amount of Sangratera is retrieved, it might prove helpful towards the repair of this crumbling waystone. If you accept our deal, my guild will award you with 60 Galeri upon delivery of 100 pounds of Sangratera to me. Without a second thought, you agree upon the terms and the albino notes down your adventuring party. Along the coast, you will find a ruined settlement tangled in a mass of blood reeds. In ages past, it used to be an anchoring point for pirates from the archipelago. We tend to believe that chunks of blood rock may be found inside these ruins. I will wait here for your timely arrival. So it says, place adventure sticker 1, Waystone, in the region of Zamani Craglands. Once you reach the adventure site and decide to embark on the adventure, continue reading. So here is the Zamanu Craglands here, and here's where Waystone gets placed. So it's already been placed for us. Features of the ruined estate. True. Sorry, I'm just making sure this is the thing I'm supposed to. Nope, I don't read this yet. I do not read this yet. I read this when I get there. All right, cool. So we start in Vanvaros, and our thing is to go to Waystone. So you don't have to go to there now. This is just your mission. This is what you have to do to complete your mission. But you can wander around this world all you want, and that's what we're going to do. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab these event cards. Right now for the prototype, these are all there are, but there will be more event cards added into your game, not just these, right? So these usual event cards you give Yon Shuffle. It does, Jess. It does. Except for there's no corruption yet, as I've seen so far. But yes, it does. So you shuffle these up. And these are the events that you're going to go through as you move through the world. So I'm just going to put these over here to the side that you can see. Oh, the rule book is way better. So we start here, and then we get a chance to say, where do we want to go? We can rent a ship if we have enough money. We can just walk around and see where we want to go. But if we end our mission here, and then we take on this mission, then we start that side of the quest, because this is kind of our goal for what we want to do. But you know me, I just want to kind of wander around. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take an action to move. So we're going to move, and I'm going to move over here because there seems to be a rumor that's over here that I'm curious about. So I'm going to take an action, and I'm going to move here from this location. So you see everything's divided up with black lines. So you just move from grouping to grouping. So I move from Vanvaros to Heartland's Road. And when I get there, the first thing I have to do is I have to draw an event. So we pull the top card of the event card for the event in the area that we're running through. And we resolve what it says. So the first one, oh look, we got lost, so we don't get to move. So it says remain on the previous region you were on, because as we were leaving the city, I had the map upside down. So we took the wrong turn at Albuquerque, and it cost us 2 time. So you see those 2 hourglasses that are there, it cost us 2 time. So this gets discarded, and then we come down to our adventure booklet, and we mark off. Come on. We mark off 2 times. So boom, boom. 2 time was wasted. I should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque. So 2 time was wasted, and we remain back in Vanvaros because the barbarian said he knew where he was going, and the map was upside down. That was it. That's it. So you keep moving, keep on moving. Okay, well, now the cleric decides, okay, this person's an idiot, and grabs the map and moves. So then we draw another event card. That was the first time I've run into that card. That's actually very funny. All right, so while going in, we found a secret treasure. No time is spent because cleric knows what he's doing. Place a treasure sticker on a random region. Oh, my friends. Cool. So let me hang on to that for a second. We're going to grab the Book of Rumors. And on the back of the Book of Rumors is this thing. And you're like, what the hell is this? This is the random region roll whenever you have to place a sticker. You roll a D, basically it's a D100 roll, right? So in this prototype, I got a D10, I got two D10s and you're supposed to determine. But y'all know me, right? You know me. So let's see, we're going to grab, where's my D100? I had it in here before. Here it is. So there we go. Some stickers. So, so we have this. And we're going to pull out Kim's lovely dice tower that we're going to use. And we're going to roll and see where this treasure sticker is going. It's going on 69. So 69. 69. Just remember not to play the event with the elite because it will complicate. Oh yeah, okay. All right. Yep. Thank you. So it's going into the rainforest of Kulu. The rainforest of Kulu. So we'll grab a treasure sticker. This guy. And it's going into the rainforest of Kulu, right? Which is a purple, so I know it's over here. There it is right there. Boom! That's how easy it is to find. And we throw a treasure sticker on there. So we place that treasure sticker, and that is going to be that. There's no time taken, so you saw no time used at the bottom. But now we're in this area that has a rumor. And so we're gonna grab the Book of Rumors. And we're going to go to Heartland's, is it the Silent Moors? The Silent Moors is where the rumor is. The Silent Moors. And these are in alphabetical order for people who are curious. Yeah, Silent Moors. Silent Moors. Incandescence. A throng of individuals sits around, speaking in hushed whispers. Among them, a lithe, disheveled Necrian in tattered vestments moves in rigid, yet oddly graceful motions, reminiscent of an eagle's proud flight. This Necrian, wearing a ceremonial bird mask resembling a mourning cardinal, captures the crowd's fervent zeal and utter respect. They call him the Radiant Cardinal. As you stand by, the Radiant Cardinal takes notice of you and greets you warmly, addressing his audience as well. These noble ones before us, he declares, are none other than the saviors of these lands, exarchs of altruism, paying respect to all, even the depraved. The crowd is about to cheer, but the Necrian checks them with a raised hand. Be silent, for this is the hour of need and deed. These heroes did not cross our path by mere chance. They are here for truths and the revelations of the defiant plague that roams these lands. He concludes with a magnanimous flourish. The secrets of our village are yours, hero. Will you answer the Radiant Cardinal's call or continue on your journey? So we've got 40 people in chat who can vote. So let's put this to a vote. You all determine the fate of this party. What do we do? Do we answer the call or walk away slowly? All right, and then we will start the poll. So the poll's going up in the chat. And there you go. Get to drink some water. So the poll should be up in the chat for you all to vote. Woohoo! You say that, Chris, as Kate is in the chat. Isn't she like a cult leader? I should have put like answer the call or hell no. Oh boy. All right. Yep, I'll give it about. Matter of fact, while I'm doing that, let me do this. Okay. So over here. Let's see what happens. All right, let me go ahead and end this. So 17 votes, 58% said answer the call, 41 says no. So we're answering the call. Let's see, 455. So let's go to 455. Thank you for putting this in order so I could just do this instead of being like, oh, I got to flip to page 33 of page 47. The cardinal's voice is drowned by the clamor that erupts from all sides. A chorus of surprise and shouting men and women. He stares at you with anticipation, waiting for silence to reign once more. These people's home is not far from here, he begins, his voice cutting through the lingering murmurs. A place that even I have come to call home, at least when I am not on my hermit routine. Owl Creek is an old place, very old, founded long before the ritual. His gaze intensifies as he continues. I'm familiar with the aberrations of our time. Visions have revealed to me a profane evil crawling through the degenerate lands, veiled and repetitive. Owl Creek, or more precisely what lies hidden beneath the hooded septenary, holds an elemental aftermath crucial to your journey and the well-being of the Middlelands people. You have discovered the secret mini dungeon below hooded septenary tier 3. You may mark on the mini dungeon. You may embark. What the hell's wrong with me? You may embark on the mini dungeon right now or later. Record mini dungeon below hooded septenary Silent Moors region on discoveries and place a tier 3 mini dungeon sticker on the world map. So we just unlocked a mini dungeon that we can adventure to whenever we want to. So we'll, on the map, on discoveries on the back here, we're going to write below hooded septenary. Hooded. I gotta look up how to spell this. Septenary mini dungeon. Tier 3. So we added that to our sheet. So we just unlocked the dungeon as we walked around. And then we get to add a tier 3 dungeon to the Silent Moors region. Sure. So we get another sticker and we add that here to go there. And then it says continue on your journey. So the journey is over. So we finished our journey. This rumor is done. I think this has been on here too long. These are replaceable stickers, trust me. It's just more that's been on here too long. There we go. And the sticker comes off. Put the sticker back over here. So boom. So the rumor is done. We've pulled that off, and then we've unlocked a dungeon that goes on there. A mini dungeon that we can go to now if we want, or we can go someplace else. There are different tiers of dungeons. Tier 3, as you can tell, it's probably going to be a little bit hard for some level 1s, but we need to level up a little bit more to be able to move forward. But that kind of ends that. And then we keep moving. This is the sandbox feel of this game, right? Where we're able to move around and do whatever we want, and we get to explore freely. The next thing I do, as it says, I move into the next region, I draw an event card, I deal with what comes up. So let's try to make our way, I don't know, let's do the next day. Where should we go? We'd have to get up to Skipnit's cabin to catch a ride across this river to get to this mushroom gardens. Let me find a dungeon for us to go to, and then we're gonna go do a dungeon. We're gonna do a mini dungeon. I just want to find a good. I want to find one I haven't done before, because that's the way the guys can kind of yell at me and be like, "No!" Ooh, this one looks fun. Where is this? Jogan Stride. Jogan Stride. Where is Jogan Stride? I just got to find the different mini dungeons on the map, and it will pop itself up. Jogan Stride sounds fun. Yeah, you get to explore. I can just walk around. I don't have to do anything. I can embark on different rumors, different adventures. There's a shrine over here I want to check, but I'm trying to find Jogan Stride. I haven't done this mission at all. That's why I'm searching for it, because I've done this mini dungeon and I've done Waystone. There it is right there. There's Jogan Stride right there. So we're going to go do that. No, the dungeons exist. That dungeon exists. It's right here. I know that one exists. So let's go ahead and make our way back there. And there's a cut through right here around Lake Ride, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to move from the Silent Moor because there is a connection point here that's not dotted. Oh yes, no, it's not dotted right here. It's solid right here. So I'm going to move to right there, and then we're going to draw an event. Dadgummit. Okay. I guess we're going through Venvaros. Jeez. Thunderstorm remain on the previous region, and we use one time. So I will mark one time here. I just marked it off right there. And then we remain on our previous region because rain is stupid. Hey, Matt, how's it going? All right, well, I could go to a dungeon. I could go to the herbalist or here, but I'm not going to. It could be on or in. However you wanna roll it. Let's try one more time. Let's spend another to go here. Place a shrine sticker on a random region and it costs one time. Okay, so let's mark off our time. Then we'll come over here and random region to place a shrine. 35. All the way live. 35. 35 goes to Kadar Bay. I'm looking for the colors here. Kadar Bay. Boom, right here. A shrine's gonna slam right there. So we're exploring, we're opening up, like I think the cool thing about this to me is that every single turn, we're doing something we're introducing something new into the world. So as we're walking, new things are popping up, new things are coming up for us to deal with. I have something that I want to sneeze. It won't come out. And then we have a treasure that's here. So we have a treasure. Which we want to do. And I think treasure, when you pull treasure, oh, you reach into the bag. That's what it is. Did I build the bag? I thought I did. I thought I did. You get the treasure, you go to the bag. And I want to make sure. Whew, my nose. Yeah, hidden treasure. So we go to the bag to see what we found on hidden treasure, right? The event cards get shuffled back in the deck when I believe it's when the deck is empty, you reshuffle. But Thanos and George could tell me if I'm wrong there. I'm just trying to find the treasure event in the rule book, because I usually just go straight to dungeons. And the rule book's actually pretty well written. You can find what you're looking for. You just gotta find it, but it's in the rule book. So it's pretty well written. So far there was just two, and honestly, Matt, this was the first time I've ran into both of them in my playthroughs. Usually I get there in pretty short order. I am just looking up in the rules real quick. Hidden treasure live up to their name, being precisely as terms suggest. Treasures scattered across the world. Once the party enters a region with a hidden treasure and wants to uncover it, they roll a d4 and draw as many treasure tokens from the treasure bag. All treasure tokens are of the current tier of play. Once the players collect the treasure, the sticker is removed from the world map. So here's the treasure bag. So we got to roll a d4, and that's how much treasure that we find. So I rolled a 2. So I reach into the bag of loot, and we pull 1, 2. What did we find? And how can I fix this camera from being blurry? I tell you what I could do. What I could do is I could get good. Let's put these in view. Here. And do this. Then do this and that. And that. And therefore no more blurries happening. And then we can do this. So I pulled these two. And you flip them over. So we've got a brass hunter's helm, value of 4. So if we go to armor, we can pull. Oh, it's not in the thingy. You wouldn't have that as a weapon, would you? That would just be weird. I don't think I have the armor card for that. Yeah, I don't have the armor card for that. Not in the prototype, but this I have. It has a value of 4 if I want to sell. Yeah, it's the helm. You just sell it, so it's not usable. But then I have masterwork armor. This is the first time I pulled that one too. So we're discovering new stuff here as we play. So Thanos, what is the one for that? Draw a random armor. Okay. So random armor. So we grab the armor cards, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 tier 1s. So I'm going to roll a d6, and it'll tell which one I get. We're going from top down, so top is 1, bottom is 6. 2. 1, 2. Our random armor is going to be a wooden shield. I have a steel shield. The heck do I want a wooden shield for? So I'm just going to throw that in the bag. It sells for 1 because it's a you-know-what style. So there's our random armor. So basically what we do at this point, for people who are curious, oh, that's interesting, what do you do with all these? Well, you don't keep you will write this down in your backpack slot because it has, it looks like it doesn't have weight for you. So this would be wooden shield. That costs 1 gold, 1 G. And then we have a brass hunter's helm. I told you my writing's terrible. That costs 4 G. And then these go back in the bag. This goes back to the armor. And then we remove the sticker. I don't have any nails. That's why you see me struggling. I do not have any fingernails. So there we go. Move these off. There we go. Okay. So we found the treasure that was there, but then we're going to Jogan's Stride, which is over here, right? We're going here is our goal. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move on to Jogan's Stride. We got to pull an event. Rumor mongers. Place a rumor sticker on a random region and lose one, and it's 1 time to do it. So we mark off another time, and then we're gonna roll. So as y'all can see, you're getting a sense of the overland world, right? This is what it is. Adventure, discovery. Ooh, that was a 00. That was interesting. So it's 5. 00s I treat as 5. I treat as 0 and it's 5. So what is going on 5? Backdoor. Backdoor is getting a rumor. Okay. And then we use the 1 time. That's it. Okay. Then we're at a mini dungeon. So we're going to do that mini dungeon. So we're going to grab the Book of Adventure. And we're going to go to that mini dungeon. Holy crap, we're going to die here. We probably might not do that. It's a 4 difficulty dungeon. I'm an idiot. All right. Oh boy. Oh boy. Sure, let's do it. We're gonna die. We're gonna die. Okay, so here we go. I did not look that it was a 4 difficulty dungeon. That's just a series of unfortunate events. Oh wait. There's another one on here. Okay, we'll do this one. Thank God. Thank God. Yep, this is a tier 1 one. We'll do this one instead. We'll do this one. There's another one here for Jogan's Stride. This is probably the one that we should be doing anyway. So this is a 2 difficulty dungeon instead of like the hardest one in the game. We're playing demo, we're playing prototype, so I know there's an order to operation. Don't flip out. It's just more, I want to showcase the dungeon. So we're going to do this dungeon. It says, Isolated Dome of the Elemental Seed. So all mini dungeons are basically compressed down to one page. That's it, one page. That's your mini dungeon, right? Um, Requirement none. Jogan stride, which is where we are for this one. Duration's probably about 90 minutes. So 2 parts of a key hold the answer to a remnant of the dervish architect. For the researching mind, the Yogan steps would be characterized as a geological feature formed by the natural process of limestone sedimentation, resulting in random crevices. After all, the quake that shaped the Yibrin Strait eons ago can be held responsible for creating such natural sites. However, there are more than enough scholars and academics of the Venvarosian Academy for Magic and Sciences who hold a different belief. They propose that the steps are not merely geological formations, but the actual tracks left behind by a colossal Jogan of mythical proportions, with its stride continuing far into the archipelago. Admittedly, the size of each step that could easily fill a stadium and the considerable distance between each stride would suggest that the Jogan of legends stood at least 1,000 feet tall. No matter, these steps serve as focal points for explorers, offering numerous sites with precious treasures and relics have been unearthed. Features of the dome. You follow a narrow path. Oh, wait. Am I there yet? Yes, I am there. You follow a narrow path that goes perpendicular to the deep crevasse. The step spans a staggering 200 to 300 feet wide with a depth of around 50 feet. Oddly, at the bottom lies a small bog emitting a noxious odor. I had Taco Bell. Strange fetishes and wooden structures adorn the mouth of a cave. This must be the first part of the subterranean complex. According to local lore, it's believed to lead to an underground dome of pre-cataclysmic origins. All right, I'm gonna pause here for 1 second because I also got to do setup, but also to let you all know that one of the things that I know that George and Thanos were telling me was this game. They also have in mind that when you start this game, you don't know that much about the lore of the world, and they want to treat it kind of in that Dark Souls fashion. As you explore, as you walk around, you learn more about the world that is out there. So if you've ever played Dark Souls, you start the game, boom, you start the game, and then you're like, what the hell's going on? Who are these people? What's going on? You kind of figure it out as you read relics, do missions, pick up like different stones, and you piece together the tapestry of the story of Dark Souls. This is operating in the same way, where you don't have a lot of information, and to learn about the land and the history and all that, you need to walk the world and investigate rumors and go through different parts of dungeons and do story to learn about the world as you build out that narrative and history of Varda. And so I think that's pretty cool that they put that in there, as well as the Gloomhaven aspect of here are campaign missions for you to go through. So there's a lot of for you to come back to the world so you can start figuring out what's going on. Yeah. Okay. So tile setup. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to clear this. This is no longer needed. So you fold up the map. So the map is no longer needed because we're going dungeon diving. We are going to be using cave and dungeon tiles. So here at the bottom of this, you see where it says cave? So we're going to be using cave tiles. Lots of cave tiles. Lots of cave tiles. And, ooh, that got, oh, it's a weird thingy. And dungeon tiles. These are these are the things that we're going to be using. Cave tiles and dungeon tiles. So it says draw and place a random cave tile as an entrance face up, then prepare deck A and deck B. So let's go into some setup for our second part of this game. So deck A, shuffle 4 random cave tiles with 1 random connector tile. So let's do, first of all, we got to draw a random cave tile as the entrance. So Put those down, get that. So we'll just blah, 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 blah. You're going to be our entrance. Then we are going to, then it says shuffle 4 random cave tiles with 1 random connector tile. Okay, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Shuffle, draw 1, 2, 3, 4. With a connector. Ba, 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 ba. We'll shuffle these up. So this is deck A. Bink. Deck B, shuffle 3 random dungeon tiles with 1 random green dungeon tile. In this prototype, I only have 1. So shuffle 3 random dungeon tiles. 1, 2, 3. Deck B is connected to the connector tile. So these are our starters. These are useless, right? And the connectors there. Yep, and we shuffle these. Put those, so that's deck B. Deck A, deck B. And there we go. And this is our entrance. Was it this one? Yeah, there we go. This is our entrance. Okay, enemy setup. Oh, we have enemies. Prepare the following standard and elite enemy decks. Yay! So standard enemies are going to be, and I'll showcase these when we run into one, but I need to set up the enemy decks. These are enemy 11, 14, 15, 21, 22, 21, 22, and 28. So those are going to be the standard enemies. Let's put these over here. And then the elite enemies are going to be 4, 15, and 21. 21, 15, and 4. All right. So you're just going to give these a shuffle, because these are the potential enemies that you'll run into. So these are standard enemies that you'll run into. I'll put those here. And these are the elite enemies that we'll put there. So if we run into an elite enemy. Let's see. Actually, something weird's up. Scroll here. I don't like how that's looking, so let me do this. Put that there. This is where I want to get to, so let me do that. Thank you so much for subscribing. We'll do that. So that way the cave entrance can be here. These will be on the periphery. Make sure things are looking good. There we go. That looks good. Perfect. Okay. All right. Treasure setup. So 9 treasure 1 tokens, 1 blue rune, and 1 green rune. And the 9 treasure tokens that's already in here. Bloop, bloop. So when we search, we have to deal with that fun, and we'll talk about that. When we retrieve a blue rune, we'll read clue 1. When we retrieve the green, when the heroes unlock the green dungeon by using the green rune, we read 2, and then more things will tell us to read 3 and 4 as we go. So we are prepared. So we'll flip this over, and this is our starting area. Those dashed lines indicate 2 different spaces on this area. So we're going to take our lovely explorer, who is going to, we get to start in either area. I'm going to start in that one, which is fan-frickin-tastic. Which this is our starting area as we start to build out our dungeon. So if you've played D100 Dungeon or 4 Against the Darkness, where you actually have tiles that you draw out to build your dungeon as you explore, yeah, that's this. This is where you're going to get this. There we go. Okay, so when we get here, that's combat. We need to do, I believe it starts off with this, and yeah, I can use the entrance mini if you want. Hold on. Yeah, I could use the entrance minis. That's these. These are the entrance minis. And they are quite nice. So this will mark an entrance into the area. And we have stairs if we're going up and down stairs. And we have an exit if we're going to be using an exit. So the minis are very nice. So I should be using them more than I am. But there you go. So there's the entrance. This is normal. Well, this miniature here is just meant for moving around the board. So that's why it's smaller. It's meant for like the overworld map and the party thing to move around. These doors here just kind of fit that motif of the cards of walking through. But the regular minis for combat are standard size. They're standard size minis. So if you want tiny minis, there's a specific game with super tiny minis on them. All right, but it ain't this one. Okay. We have to do a roll for area control to see if we're fighting anything or dealing with anything. Destinies, thank you. Yeah, Destinies minis are ridiculous. So area controls basically when you step into a room. Think of it as when you step into a room, you have to deal with what's in that room. You've done this in every other gameplay that you've done of every other dungeon crawl that you've done. It just wasn't called area of control. So just keep that in mind. Don't be like, oh, area control, there's this new keyword. It's not. This is what it is. What you're going to grab is you're going to grab 2d6s because it shows us at the bottom right here. And you're going to roll these 2d6s, add those numbers up, and based on what you roll will determine what happens in this room. So there's the potential for us to immediately go into combat, which is fantastic. Just fantastic. Do we have a torch or a glowworm or a motion sensor? No. Let me see. Cool. All right, so we're going to roll this for area control. Or reveal, right? Call it whatever you want. I'm going to be honest with you. The way that this made sense in my head, instead of saying area control roll, I just put it in my head that means reveal. So if we reveal a tile, when we move on to it, we need to roll for the reveal effect. So we're going to roll this. And we rolled a 3 and a 4, which is a 7. A standard enemy. I told you we'd be getting into combat already. So we're going to go up against a standard enemy. Sweet! Cool. So let's go ahead and move this. We're going to draw the top card of the shuffled standard enemy deck. And we'll see what we're going to deal with. We're fighting some frog folk. All right, there is a lot to go over on this card, so let's pause action to talk about the fun we're about to have. Okay, so these are frog folk. Here's the beautiful art of their kin. All the frog folk have 2 health. How many frog folk are there, you ask? Well, if you're playing a 2-player game, you're going to roll a d3 and add 2 to that number. If you're playing a 3-player game, you'll roll a d4, add 2. And if you're playing a 4-player game, you're going to roll a d4 and add 4. That's how many friends you get to enjoy your life with, right? They're a medium frog folk. They have the aquatic and they're humanoid. They are immune, and I need, once again, this is the reason why I say I need my thingamawhatsadooza-hixits to tell me these symbols and what they mean. So they are immune to poison, They are immune to, don't tell me, I will figure it out. Do not tell me. They're immune to poison, and they are immune to immobilize. So they can't be immobilized, they can't be poisoned. They are immune to it. They are resistant to, let's see, that symbol's a nice little skull. I'm looking for, those are conditions. Is that a standard enemy? That's a skull, right? It's a little skull face thing. I see standard enemy, elite enemy, necrotic. They are resistant to necrotic. So they're resistant to necrotic, and then they are vulnerable to lightning. So they're amphibious, they're aquatic. Lightning seems to have a really, really great effect on them. They have ambushing. Damn it. Ambushing says at the start of combat, all heroes will roll a reflex save versus the enemy's reflex or become surprised. Fantastic. Love it. Love it. So where is their reflex? There it is. There it is right there. 6. Damn it. All right, so they're gonna at the start of combat, so we'll become surprised. And surprised means that I believe they get to go first. But let me check the verbiage. I gotta go between the two books for surprised. Surprised is not in the key legend, and I think last time, George, you had to tell me what surprise was. I don't think it was in here, so let me look in the rule book for it. But that, once again, prototype, it's going to get added. Calm down. Surprise, found it. And then I immediately moved away from it. I found it. Surprise says characters cannot use an opener and defend and save with they defend and save with disadvantage until the end of the round. So that's that. The text isn't too bad. It isn't too bad. Once you get going, it's just this happens or we become surprised, which means that for at the end of the round we would be surprised, which means we can't use an opener and defend and save with disadvantage until the end of the round. An opener, that's a fun word. Opener. Opener can basically, if we have a trait that has opener, but opener is a type of action. So if you have a trait that says opener on it, you can use it, but if we are surprised, we can't. When we go into combat, which we're about to, at the start of every round, we're going to roll a d6. Based on what we roll, they're going to do one of two things to us. So they'll either do from 1 to 5, they'll do the blowgun dart. It is going to be this type of attack. That's the number that we have to beat. And it'll do 1 damage and poisonous. If we roll a 6, they're going to do deep murk dart. That is the attack that we're going to have to deal with. They're going to cast fatigue on us and fear. Players that fail the roll by 3 or more also suffer fear. Awesome. All right, this down here is interesting because sometimes when you have openers or when you get into specific types of combat, that's not an ambush. You have this ability to do these reactions. And in these reactions, we'll roll a die, and based on those reactions, we can flee, we can try to bribe them and say, hey, we're not the droids you're looking for, or we'll just end up fighting them. When we defeat them, we will gain 1 treasure and 2 experience points. And when we're fighting them, this is what we're going against, and they have to save. That's what they have here. All right? So there you go. That's the card breakdown. It looks like a lot. It's not. And don't think this is dead space. A lot of this gets filled out in other enemies that we fight. All right, so we're getting into... So you got into a fight. So let's move this over here. And we're going to bring out the combat board. And this is the one thing that a lot of people were asking about. So here is the combat board. These are the health trackers for all the enemies. So there are 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 enemies. on here. And remember, we didn't roll our D. Or are we supposed to roll a D what? Let me pull the card here. Put this up here for you all to see. We roll a D3 plus 2. So usually with D3s, you roll D6, cut it in half, right? So I roll this, I roll a 5, cut it in half. So that's what, a 3, 2, 2, 2, 2. It's 2. I'm positive it's 2. So 2 plus 2, 4. So we're going to get 4 fun guys. 3, whatever. And so we're going to break out minis. So we're going to get 5 fun guys. Because the minis are still in production, you're just going to grab 5 of the frogkin minis that you would get, but I'm going to use these devil dogs in their place, which is fun. All right. So before we place these, we determine where we're going to go. This is the one that I think I saw somebody put in that said it was kind of weird for them. This board's broken up into 3 zones, and you can see the cracks in the floor that lets you know those different zones. Zone 1, Zone 2, and Zone 3. And then there's somebody who's going to be the focus of the attack, and then whatever zone the other is going to be in, right? So we're going to let you be the focus of the attack, and you're going to stand in Zone 1. Only 3 heroes and 3 enemies can occupy a zone. So because there are 5, 3 enemies will occupy this zone, and the 2 will just have to scratch their butt until they can get into the fight. Yeah. So basically, they don't stand in the zone. They're just waiting to hop into the zone with people. Wherever there's a zone full of people. So if we're playing 4-player, then we've got one more hero could go here, and then the other one will have to go in this zone, to which these guys would join that fun. But they're trying to jump into a zone where there are people. The zone is filled up with enemies, which can just be 3. So these are kind of saying, I can't wait to get in to kill you. And then both of them are in this zone. I'm having both heroes in this zone 1, but this one is the focus of the attack. That's why I put them in center. Okay? We've got the devs in the chat. Ask. Okay, so combat rounds are so fun. Combat rounds are broken up into these segments. This looks like a lot. It's not. It just looks like a lot. It's masquerading as a lot. A round of combat is broken up into 2 parts. The enemies go first, and then you get to go. That's it. That's the combat round. The enemy go first, and then you get to go. Don't think past that. Don't think past that. That's all there is to it. I need to do this, and let's shift this camera over a little bit more, because this is what y'all care about right now. Okay. So, first thing we got to do is deal with ambushing. In ambushing, we have to do the lightning one. The lightning one. You will get used to the verbiage as you continue to play the game. So, you're living my life. Reflex. We have to do a reflex check. So, let's take a look at our heroes. So on a reflex save, the barbarian is going to roll a d6 and add 1. And the number we're trying to beat is 6. Cool. So a 5 or a 6 or I fail. The cleric has to roll, hey, look, a d6 minus 1. You're going to fail it no matter what. Isn't that fun? Isn't that grand? Doesn't that make you feel warm and gushy? There we go. Okay, so barbarian is going to do his test. It's a d6 plus 1. Sweet! And the cleric is going to do their roll, which there's no way they can pass it even if I roll a 6. So we both fail. When we both fail, remember for ambushing, we become surprised. Characters cannot use an opener and defend and save with disadvantage until the end of the round. So we are surprised until the end of the round. However, the enemy is going to go first in the enemy phase. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this card. We're going to roll a d6 to see what they're going to do. And we're going to roll the enemy modifier dice. What? Oh, I don't know. So these are what we're going to roll for the enemy. So modifier dice and what they're going to do. Oh, yes, the enemy gets modifiers. And it's going to be awful. It's going to be awful. Oh, so they're going to do 2, and and they don't get a mod for what they're going to do. George Thanos, this is the first time I roll that. Every time I've played with them, the enemy does AoE damage to me. Every time. So they're going to do 2. On 2, they're going to use the blowgun dart. And they're making it, I keep forgetting let me just flip this. This is going to be a piercing attack. So it's a piercing attack 4 that I have to check against. So their target is going to be the cleric. The cleric is the target of this fight. Okay, that's who they're all. Unless it's an AOE, they're all about his face. So the cleric has to do a piercing check against 4. So the clerics, let's go to the cleric sheet so you can understand. This sounds like a lot. Trust me. Just stay with me. You're going to see after this, it's going to go super fast. So on the cleric section here, we look at piercing blocking, which is this, right? For the damage inbound. I get to roll a D8 plus 1 for the steel shield. So a D8 plus 1. So I'm going to roll a D8 plus 1, and I need to beat 4. I don't need to meet 4. I need to beat 4. So, yeah. Yeah, make sure I have the right die this time. So let's see what we get. So we have a 4 plus 1, which is a 5. So that means this first attack does no damage to me. I don't take the damage. I don't get poison. They can suck an egg. And you're like, oh, cool. That was a good turn. They got 2 more people who are attacking us. So, yeah, I rolled a 4 plus 1, which is a 5. I'm good. I'm good. That's bad. That's not good, because a 2 plus 1 is a 3, which does not exceed 4, which means I will take 1 damage. So I'll take a damage cube, and I will apply that damage cube to the cleric for taking 1 damage, and I become poisoned, because that's fun. So we take a poison token, and poison says the hero cannot heal or regen health, lasts until end of combat. So we're going to take this, and I'm going to have to move the camera so you can see how this is going to get put. So 1 second. So we're going to take this, see where it says end of combat? Just slot that bad boy in there, and I cannot heal or regen health for the rest of combat. And I took that 1 cube and I put it here, so now I'm at 6 health instead of 7. It's not equal or higher, it's higher than. It's not equal. Because I remember when I got the equal before, y'all were saying I still failed. So if you've changed it to equal or higher, I'm on board, but I remember it wasn't equal or higher before. Okay, so let's do this, and let's get this back over to the battle board. Okay. So that was the second attack. Third attack. Yay! 4 plus 1, 5, so I'm okay. And I saw something in the chat. I gotta make sure I played this right. 1 second. But the 2 enemies that don't get to fight give +2 to the 3 enemies that stand on the first zone. Oh, yeah, I'm not, yeah, sure. Okay, so that is their turn. I don't get to use any opener abilities. I don't have any to use, but I don't get to use any opener abilities. So that ends their turn. Now it is my turn to fight. So basically, the first combat round, the enemy gets to beat on you, then you get to play, and then the enemy gets to go. And you just keep going in a circle until it's all over, right? So we're going to have the cleric go first because the cleric's pissed. And the cleric's going to use their Morning Star. So let's take a look at the cleric sheet so you can understand how this combat's going to work. We're taking our time with this. So the cleric's Morning Star can hit piercing or bludgeoning, whichever one you want to choose. These frog people have, and I think attacks have disadvantage because I'm surprised, right? Characters cannot use openers and, defend and save. Oh, I had defense with disadvantage. I forgot to do that. Look at that. Look at me screwing up the rules. My defense had disadvantage against them. So, first one would have been, 4. Yeah, and that would have been the fail. So we're fine. We're fine. We're good. Okay. So it all works out. So we're going to make an attack against them. We're going to roll a d8, add 1 to it, and on their sheet, if we want to take a look at their sheet again, we have to beat a 4. Right? So if we beat a 4, we get to inflict damage on them. So we're going to roll a d8 plus 1 against this. Right? Wait. Yeah. Yeah, d8 plus 1. Okay, so we're going to roll that against, and you only have a single target to attack. So we're going to roll this, and we need to beat a 4. Hey, Steven, how's it going? That's a 6. Plus 1 is a 7. It was almost a crit, but it was still a hit. So when we hit, wait a second. I perform one action, as many reactions or instances in any order they choose. I'm in the second combat round. First combat round, enemy engage. Oh, because I'm surprised I can't attack him. You're right. Because I'm surprised. That's right. Because of surprise. Yep. So let's pull that back. So the first combat round, they surprised me. They punched me in the kidney, and that's that. Yep. So that ends the first combat round with us being surprised. So now we're going into the next combat round, which, yeah, frogs are too fast. So the first combat rounds, they gain surprise. They had the hit. I don't get to attack them back. So we go to the next round of the combat where they are going to, where we still do this. So it's character, first combat round, they attack. They do their thing, end the first round, resolve any conditions that we have, any effects, surprise bonuses, all that other stuff. And then we go into the second combat round where we are going to go first, and then it's going to be the enemy phase. I got it. A little rusty, just got to shake the rust off. Yep, surprise is over. So now it is our turn. So on our turn, we're going to roll. I still would have done the attack with the cleric, which was the 6 that I rolled, plus 1, which would be 7, which is a hit on them. And I'm just looking for. I'm looking for I'm looking for something specific here. Sorry. Let's see. I believe I hit it, and I will do the weapon damage of it, right? I rolled a lot of dice in our last place, so I'm trying to remember everything. So I beat the 4. It's 7 total, and since the piercing defense is 4, you do just... Yeah, that's what I was trying to check that. Okay. So it's 6 plus 1, 7, and it beat the 4, so I hit number 3 for 1 damage. So I put 1 damage cube there. Then I trigger my eulogy that says, you damage an enemy, another ally gets +2 attack for each until the end of the round. So I'm going to trigger that ability to do that. Well, guess who's the ally that's attacking? Hulking Barbarian come in with fight. Hulking Barbarian come in with fight. Hulking Barbarian will trigger Path of Rage. So it's an instant. Until the end of combat, gain +2 to fight, +2 to stamina, and 2 temporary hit points, and immunity to fear. At the end of combat, I'll suffer fatigue. So I don't have any of these other things activated for them to go. It's just going to be what's here. So I'm activating this instant right now, Path of Rage. So my might goes up +2, which means that my main hand weapon swinging goes up +2. And I get 2 temporary hit points, which temporary hit points are placed as... some extra dice. Extra cubes. So I'm going to give myself 2 temporary hit points. Binka binka, my 2 temporaries. I'll go on there for what I have. This ability will turn face down for me to have, so I'm about to hit something really, really hard. So I get +2 fight, +2 stamina, and 2 temporary health, and I'm immune to fear. So, Barbarian rolls up sleeve. Barbarian then, let's take a look at our Barbarian sheet so you can see what I'm going to hit with. And I roll with advantage. Yep, because I'm an assist character. I got you. So I'm rolling a d10, and usually I would do 4 with might, but remember I get +2, so I'm at a 6. So it's a d10 plus 6 for the hit. And because I'm assisting, I am not the focus of the attack. It's like the cleric is kind of yelling, "Hey, look at me! Come hit me!" The barbarian is going to roll a d10 plus 6 to beat 4. So, and the barbarian's weapon has swiping, which means I'm hitting everyone all at once. So I rolled an 8 plus, no, that would mean a 9 is a crit. 9s are crits, not 8s. But it's an 8 plus a bunch. So, an 8 plus a bunch. Well, 9 plus a bunch, which is 15. So I've hit 7, 6, and 3. And remember, they only have 2 health, so 3 dies. So we've killed 3. 3 is dead. Oh, advantage. Yep. Nah, I still hit him. Advantage could have critted, but because I could have wiped them all out in one blow. That's why George wanted me to remember advantage, because he's like, your swiping attack can kill them all in one shot if you could do it. So, yep. So I've cleared the room of people, and that ends, and then Boinga, you get to come in. You get to come in the room and have some fun. And then it is, let's see. Yep. So then it is, so I've done that damage. Remember, they only have 2 health. I've killed 1. That's where we are. So now it is the enemy's turn, so we're going to roll and see what the enemy's going to do. So a 5 in that, so they're doing the blow dart again. And yes, you are assisting your buddies, so it's a 6 that we have to beat instead of a 4. I'm going to use my hardened skin ability, right, to give myself a +1 to all my defense, so I'm going to flip that over. So I'm basically going to be rolling a d6 plus 3. Well, it's the focus attack on you, actually. And it's not on everybody, so I don't need to use it. It is still on the cleric. So the cleric cannot pass this attack. Cannot. Yeah, even if I wanted to, I can't pass this. Oh, wait. No, this one I can. D8 plus 1. And D8 plus 1. And I have to beat a 6. 5 plus 1, 6. Hey, look at that. So I did pass. I did pass it. 8 plus 1, enough. 5 plus 1, 6. Woohoo! So I did pass and I didn't take any damage. How is this possible? How is this possible? So next round, let's continue on with the good times. You are going to attack... You'll attack number 5. And we're going to roll a d8. 4 plus 1, 5. And I had to beat a 4, so which was enough. To hit you, number 5, for 1. And then I will trigger my ability to give the Barbarian my Eulogy, which is a triggered ability, to give the Barbarian a +2 attack. Plus I get advantage for the hit. So let's roll our d10. And see how well we do. So I'm hitting all of them, and I'm rolling a d10 plus 6. Oh my gosh. And it's with advantage. All right, so it's 7 plus 6, so 13, which is enough to cleave all. 1 damage to all. They're all dead. Hey, look at that. Look at how the combat's going. And you're going to pop into the room. Next round. So rounds of combat, right? Enemy's turn. Well, it's still the same round, but it's the enemy's turn. Okay, we got a different symbol. So this symbol that you're seeing here, this symbol says that they're going to add +1, and it's going to hit everyone. Everyone. So it's a 5. So it's doing the blowgun dart, adding +1. So it's 4. So now it's a 5, and it's hitting both of us. So we both have to save against this. This is where I shall use the hardened skin trait to flip that face down to get +1 to it. So I'm rolling a d6 plus 3. Critical defense. I laugh at your attack. And then the cleric is rolling a d8 plus 1. Yes, because this would be a 4, would be a 5. So it's a 5 that I have to beat. So this is a d8 plus 1, and I have to beat a 5. That's a 2, because that's fun. So I will take another damage. And that'll be that. Now it's my turn. Cleric's pissed, right? Cleric's pissed. So Cleric's pissed. Cleric's going to roll d8. 3 plus 1, 4. And it's a 4 I had to meet. It's a 4 I had to meet, so I do hit for 1. And then, of course, we're going to use Eulogy. Barbarian come in angry. Barbarian pissed. Barbarian got advantage, so that's an 8. Or a 1, which would have been a crit miss, but it's with advantage, so it's an 8 plus whatever. And you're dead. And we beat them all. That is combat. When we win... What do you mean they're not on the battle board? They're right here. What are you talking about they're not on the battle board? Why are Barbarian and Cleric miniatures not on battle board? They are right here. What are you talking about? The Barbarian catches the dart with his teeth and uses it as a toothpick. Alright. So when we beat them, we gain 1 treasure and everyone gains 2 experience. So we go to the bag of loot. And we pull 1 treasure. Oh, boom, blue rune. All right. So it says, when the players retrieve the blue rune, read clue 1. Amidst the patch of overgrown reeds, you find one end of a bizarre-looking rod. The small rod is made of a silver-looking alloy that has magnetic properties. Gain keyword magnetic rod. If you already have the keyword magnetic rod, read clue 4. So we just gained the magnetic rod. So we have the blue one. We'll put that in our loot set. I'll just put it like here. It's fine. All right, let's zoom back out to a space that makes sense here. And as you can see, the combat area definitely shrunk down a ton from the map. Oh, we were here. I need to do, sorry, this. And then slide this over. You said rod. So the battle wasn't long. We won. We get this back. And then at the end of combat, certain things take effect. Come on, get off there. At the end of combat, poison falls off, as we put on there. And at the end of combat, my Path of Rage falls off, and I gain a fatigue. Fatigue says, heroes receives an extra damage from any attack, lasts until the end of the next combat. So that's the end of combat round. At the end of combat, and George Thanos, remind me of this. At the end of the combat round, because we did have combat, my Path of Rage comes back. So it refreshes. You have to go through a combat round to get it, if I understand that correctly. Or are you saying that it is exhausted until the next combat round, and then we get it? And I think that's what it was. I have to go through combat round without it to get it back, I think. But they'll let me know. They'll let me know. This is discarded. Combat is done. Yep. So, and that ends here. So that was all of that you saw just happen was the discovery roll. Right? So that was the discovery roll. This is very important for what I'm about to do. The frog armor is all hacked to death by the barbarian. So that was that's called area control roll, but it's not. It's basically saying when you move into an area that you haven't been in before, it's the revealed roll or discovery roll of what that is, right? I'll shuffle it back in the deck. Calm down. I just put it off to the side for a second. All right, so area control roll, that's completed. Now that that's completed and we've done that discovery, I've got options. I can move to the next tile and then do an area control roll, or I can search this tile. And if you notice in the story, it says if you choose to search, you're going to roll a d6. On a 1 to 4, on a 1, we'll run into a wandering monster. On a 2 to 3, we find nothing. And on a 4 to 6, we find treasure. We're looking for stuff, right? So I'm going to do a search on this tile, which means I'm going to roll a d6 and see what I find. Y'all want me to fight again? I know you do. I know you do. I know you want me to find stuff. So we'll do our roll. 1, 6, sweet, treasure. So we find treasure, so we go to the bag. Hopefully a 1. Jeez, man, y'all want my demise bad. All right, we're gonna pull this. What did we find? We found red snot, bloodstone. So we found a bloodstone, 10 value that goes into the bag. So we're gonna stick this into the cleric's bag. And we'll write down bloodstone 10 value in the cleric's bag. 10G. And this will go back into the loot bag. So that's what we found for our treasure. And when you find treasure, you will take one of these treasure chest thingies, and you're going to put it on that sector, saying that you search. That means you can only search once. You can't search an area more than once. So don't try to game the system. No. All right. Then we continue on with our adventure. So we're going to move over into this, and I believe that's the cave one. So we're going to grab the cave tile and flip it over. And remember, you have to match stuff up, right? So you have to match up where things are going. So we're going to do that. We're going to move over here. And then, hey, guess what we're back to? Rinse and repeat the lovely area control roll. So we're going to do an area control roll, rolling 2d6s. Says so at the bottom for people who are like, what am I supposed to roll? There's the symbol. Roll 2d6s. Roll them up. See what we get. We got an 8. Dadgummit, draw standard enemy. So we're going to fight again. Awesome. So we're going to take our frog dude, shuffle him back in here. There we go. And pull a standard enemy, which is an 8 for what we got. Let's see who our standard enemy is. It is Shelob. Sweet. All right. Fun. 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 I got turned into a cow. Can I go home? Let's see. Gotta move these things over. And let's deal with the horribleness that is going to occur to us here today. All right, so it's 2 players, so we're going to roll d3 plus 2. It's probably going to be another 5. Immune, you are immune to stupefy, and you are immune to immobilize, but you are vulnerable to, what's that symbol? What's that, like a little fireball thingy? What is that? You're vulnerable to a type of attack. Fire. You're vulnerable to fire. Sure. Break out the raid can and kill that thing. You have heightened senses and ambushing. Why are you giving them ambushing? Anyway, heightened senses negate the stealth skill benefit of a hero. So if you're playing the rogue, guess what? You're not. And ambush. Yay! So also the teeth attack, heroes that already... So the teeth stuff says, I think that's target. Yes, that is your target. The enemy's target is the hero that suffered immobilize. So if no enemies suffered, no hero suffered immobilize, they will target the person who is the target of all the attacks. But if a hero suffers immobilize, they shift their target to that hero's being the primary attack. So basically, they immobilize you and then chew your face off. They also have a reaction. Spring upon prey. Heroes end their turn. If the hero ends their turn while suffering immobilize, oh god, a spinner in the same zone performs a fang attack versus the triggering hero. This is fun. Okay, these are the different attacks that they can do. So as you can see, it's taking up all that stuff. I don't have an opener to see whether I flee, go inert. How do I go inert? Is that play dead? But I will get 2 treasure and 2 experience if I win against these creatures. They have ambush, which means I don't get a first round. They get to have some fun with me. All right, so are you not entertained? So let's go ahead and slide this over because, like I said, this is the stuff y'all care about. Okay, so we'll put our die thingy here. Awesome. Roll d6. Don't be a 5. God damn it. So 5 of them. Sweet. Sweet. Yeah. 2 will be at the door. Yep. Of course I rolled a 5. It's what I wanted. It's what I wanted. Cool. All right. And they gain ambush, which means I have to save against them jumping me. And it's a quickness, a willpower, dex save. And I have to beat a 7. Sweet. Even better. I'm not going to beat a 7. Oh, but it's, yep, not going to beat that 7. Nope. I could beat it with the barbarian. But the barbarian will suffer extra damage. This is great. I have to beat a 7. All right, well, here is a 6. Nope. Here is the 6. Nope. So they're about to take their turns. Here we go. Yay. Here we go. You might get a crit. Nope. Yay! What are they doing? +2. Ooh, fiddly-dee. So, they are making a grit. I have to make a grit save, or I will take a damage and become poisoned. And the grit save is a 5 +2. Woohoo! So a 5 +2, which is a 7. I have advantage on saves, but the only advantage is on a d6. That's gonna be great. A 2 or a 5. Both of those are a fail. So I will take 1 damage, and let me just keep the poison thing next to the cleric, because that just needs to be an ongoing effect. All right, so I take a damage and that. Cool. Then I need to do it again. 4, 6, which is still not enough. Nope. So, donk. And then the other one. 4, 3. Let's just go ahead and keep the party going. How much damage do I have that I can't heal, do you ask? I have 5. I have 5. Yay. Yay. All right, time to get serious. That is the end of the first round of combat. I was surprised I don't get my turn, but now we're at the second round of combat where we get to go first, you bastards. And then the cleric is going to die. Let's see. The cleric is going to attack. We're going to do a bludgeoning attack with our Morning Star. We just need to beat a 3. And I can't heal myself. So we're going to trust in the barbarian. We're going to trust in the barbarian. Boom! So that hits you for... We're going to hit number 6 for 1. And then we're going to use Eulogy to have you go ham. We're going to roll a d10. And we're going to pray for a 9. 9 or a 10. Come on, game. Come on. Come on. 9 or 10. 8 or... Crit! Woohoo-wee! I won't forget the heroic token. I did this for the crit. I want the crit. So we crit. So we will roll another we roll another d10, and we get to add this number to the damage that we do of a crit. So that's a 5 plus once that's 6 on hit, and it is sweeping, so blah 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 blah. They only have 3 health. Whoo! Come on in. Because when you step in, I'm going to be using that token. So we are going to do this lovely token to attack those two for our heroic token to attack again. Whew, okay. Here we go. 10 crit! Ah! All right, crit. And that's a 9 plus wipe. Yep, there we go. There we go. Woohoo! Wiped him out. Oh, my gosh, I love this. I love this. That's what the barbarian's job is. Crit, crit, crit. I think it's half, but it still didn't matter since they had 3 health. I rolled high, so that's why I didn't worry about it. Let me see. Let me go to the index just to make sure. Take that, spooters. Let me look up crit. Critical, extra critical, below is the handoff weapons. I think it's hemp, but I will just believe that I hit enough for 3. And we wipe them out in 1 blow. Stupid spiders. Just looking here. Your cave is broken. Man, y'all have such confidence in me. I love it so much. All attack, defense, save, skill dice rolls can crit. Dice roll crits when the total request is higher number. It's indicated. This indicated a mass crit. All dice rolls with the exception. Yep, we've got the crit table. The universal rule that applies as every crit is that the hero rerolls the same number of dice and add together the result along with any modifiers that are counted only once. Auto crit, when directed to perform an auto crit, the roll is bypassed and instead the player calculates the max roll, then could be obtained for the crit roll. Crit example, roll d6, rolls 3, then results in 21 crit, repeats the roll 3 times until 19 crit, adds together these results, 21% along with a +5, equipped for a total of attack of 53, divided by the enemy's number, but I knew it was 3. So let's pause there for a second because this is important. This is why I just wiped them out. All right, so people are going to say, wait, where did you get, like, how does the crit work into it? So let's roll that back. It happened very quick. I was super pumped, but it happened very quick. So my first roll was a 9. Right? 9. Then which was a crit. After I do that, I rolled this dice again, and I cannot remember what I got. I think it was a 5. Was it a 5? Or was it a 8? I can't remember. It's one of these numbers. Let's just say it's an 8. You then take this number, roll it back, you then take this number, you divide it by this number, and then you add, it was a 10? 10 was my crit. That was my second crit. And I rolled a 9 on that crit. So it would be the 9 divided by this plus 1 for the damage, which would have been 3. And I think this one, which would have been 4. I think this one I had an 8, I can't remember. Either an 8 or 5, which would have been divided by this plus 1. So that's how you roll it back. I just wiped them out, but it happened. I just wanted to let y'all know how it happened. You have to take, when you crit, you take that number and you divide it by what you're going against, and that's the damage that you do. When I hit with a weapon, with my Morningstar weapon, it's just 1, right? So it's just 1 damage. That's why I was like, oh, I just do 1 damage, and that's why I was trying to read through when I was looking and I was looking through the sheet. I was looking for do I divide or do I subtract? And that's what I was like, hey, let me see if I can find this thing out. Is you divide the number by the enemies, by what you're going against, and that so I would divide it by 3, and that will determine the total amount of damage that will be applied to the enemy. Because I rolled a 10 and then I rolled a 9, 9 divided by 3, right? Which is 3 plus 1 for the damage, which is 4, and I wiped them all out. So that's how I was able to slaughter them all. And then the first crit I rolled, I know I rolled high, which would have brought it down to a 2, I think, if I divided it out, and then plus 1, which would have been 3, which wiped them all out. So, in turn, what you have to do is you're going to roll your die, right? And if you hit them with just a regular weapon, you do 1 damage. That's it. When you roll a crit, in my barbarian's case, it's a 9 or a 10. It's a 9 or a 10, so I rolled that, and then I rolled like a 9. So I would do a 9 divided by 3, which is 3, plus the 1 for the damage, which is 4. And it was a sweeping attack, so I killed them all. So the barbarian kind of took out all of them in one go. We're going to get 2 treasure, and both of us get 2 experience. We're at 4 experience points right now. We're going to have to rest because the cleric's almost dead, and we're only in the second room. All right, so our first treasure will be, ooh, we found the green token, which I'll talk about that in a second. And our second one is going to be 2d10 worth of gold. So 2d10 worth of gold. Boop, boop. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12. So we got 12 gold. Now let's give it to you. 12 gold. So this will go back in the bag. And we found the green thingamadoohickey. So sorry I moved through that very quick. I was super pumped. So when the heroes unlock the green dungeon by using the green rune. So we just gained the green rune right now. So we have the green rune on what we need. For what we need. So we gain that, this, and we get to, so that's a total of 4 experience. This will get shuffled back into the deck. But that's what I was looking up. I was like, do I subtract or do I multiply? I couldn't remember. Or divide, sorry. Do I subtract or divide? And I couldn't remember. You multiply, it's neither. All right, so we'll put these away. And let's slide our board back over to the stuff that y'all care about. And we are here. So we need to find the connector, and then we need to find the green rune for us to complete this dungeon. We already have the blue one, which, oh, here it is. Okay, so we've completed this. Our next thing we can do is search this room, because we've done the discovery one, right? So we can search the room to see what's in here. And I don't want to fight another monster, but sure, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm happy to be part of this plan. Roll d6. Roll a 2. Don't you dare, game. Don't you dare. It's empty. We found nothing. A 1 is the bad one. So because we searched this room, remember we put a treasure token on here to say that we've searched a room. And then we move on. So we're going to move up this time. So we grab cave locale. And this cave kind of breaks. Let's do it like so. Right? So we move up in here. And is this game making sense to y'all? I just want to make sure I just didn't lose you with the combat. I just moved really fast through it, but is it making sense? So we roll this. Can you roll like a 10? A 10. A 10. Give me a 10. Give me a 10. 3. Oh, thank God. It's empty. The room's empty on a 3. So not another combat. It's an empty room. And then we could do a search. Sure. 5. 5 on a search is treasure. I did not yet, but I will. I will heal the cleric before I moved in that room. I was not thinking. but you are correct. I need the camp. So at the end of the combat, the poison would fall off, and we found another brass hunter's helm worth 4 gold. Sure, we're amassing stuff to sell at a store and buy new gear. Let's get another one. Brass helm, 4 gold, and that'll go back in the bag. All right, time to heal the cleric because the cleric is on the struggle bus. So what we're going to use is we're going to camp. When we camp, we're going to spend 1 food. Wait, camp ends the day done. Oh, we can't camp in a dungeon. 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 We can camp in the overland world. We can't camp in a dungeon. You hear me saying it 10 billion times? We can't camp in a dungeon. So instead, because we got out of that combat, I'm going to get Path of Rage back. My fatigue will fall off. And I am going to use Mend Wounds to heal 3 on the cleric. So, Mend Wounds, we're going to heal 3 from the cleric, so flip that over. And we're going to heal 3. Oh, I thought you put them back in because that's the reason why I didn't get to slot them. Sure. Hey, look, it's still another brass helm. What's this guy? A Sardonyx. So it'll be Sardonyx instead. Sure, I'll take that. That's 8 gold instead of 4. I'm not mad about it. So Sardonyx. $8 gold. Okay. All right, and we did do this search. So boop. Then we're continuing on. We did heal the cleric. Cleric's good now. We're gonna move this way. So we're gonna draw another. Move this way. Area control. 9. Empty. Thank God. All right. Then roll. No. 3. 3 is empty. So the room's empty. We didn't find anything. Then we're going to move down. Area control. 7. 7 is a standard enemy. So that standard enemy we will draw from the zip pile. This place is infested. It's infested. Infested. So let's deal with this nonsense. All right, so first let's deal with, we need to roll D. Can you not roll a 5? Oh, thank God. Okay, so that's a 1. So there's 3 enemies that show up on this one. It's like, could you not roll a 5? I mean, you know, for a friend. Okay, so we've got 3 enemies. Boop, 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 boop. Be the target. Be the fun guy. They have 3 health each. They have lovely ambush on them because, you know, y'all know how this game goes. Could you not pull an auto fail? You're asking too much. You're asking too much of me, Cynthia. Too much. All right, so what's this stupid ambush thing I gotta do? What are you hitting me with? This is 7. The barbarian could He could do this. Barbarian could do this. I said could. The cleric has advantage. Nope. So we're going to get attacked by them for sure. Here we go. What are they doing? Sweet! They're doing their worst attack with +2 modifier. Their worst attack, skirmish. Oh dear. Let's read skirmish, shall we? So we'll need to do a grit defense of a grit save of 5. If we fail, 2 damage and poison. Of course, this is a 7 now because it's +2. So we need to do a grit save of 7 on the cleric. There is a 1 in 2 chance that each spinner may flee from combat after the skirmish attack. Roll separately for each spinner. So this is going to be their reaction based on what they do. Oh my god. Cool. 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 All right, let's see what happens. This is great. This is great. I will die if I fail. No, I am going to fail this. I'm dead. My cleric's down. My cleric is down. Oh, this is going to be amazing. 2 damage per? I have to roll a 7 on a save. I can't save it. I just roll a d6. Even though I have advantage, I just roll a d6. Here we go. You got to right. 1, 6, fail. 2, 5, 6, fail. So that's 4 damage. 5, 1, fail. So that's let me just hang on to this poison potion because that's fun. And then we take 2, 4, 6 damage. And I had 2 left, so that's 8. So let's see if they run away or if they're gonna. It would have been the 3rd one that killed them anyway. So let's see if they run away. Let's do this guy. So you say a 1 in 2 chance. Are we doing odds evens at this point? I don't think this is clear, George. So someone help me with a math brain, because this says there is a 1 in 2 chance instead of a 1 in 6. So it's not a d6, it's a d2. Is that what I'm getting from this? Flip a coin or do under over. Okay. Okay, flip a coin. Yeah, I can flip a coin. I can flip a coin. That's probably a better way to do it. All right. Let's anybody carry money anymore? Let's see. I don't have a D2 because I got rid of my other game with it. But I could do an odds evens one on this. So 1 to 3 on a D6 is going to be they flee, and a 4 to 6 means they stay and fight. 1 to 3 they flee, 4 and 6 they fight. There you go. You're going to stay. You're going to flee. You're going to stay. So we got 2 staying, 1 ran off. Okay. That looks fun. The barbarian's pissed. The barbarian is pissed. So the barbarian is going for Path of Rage. We're going to roll a d10. And we don't have advantage because that guy's dead. So here we go. Shall I stay or shall I go? That is stupid. So this is just, so it's 2 damage to both of them and they have 3 health. So 2 damage to both of them, and they have 3 health. I rolled a 1. The bleep. Bleep. All right, their turn. Cool. So it will be, they'll do +1 damage. You know, Derek, you're an ultimate playtester. If anyone's going to find ways that can go wrong, it's you. Oh, and I do get the 2 temp. Yep, I do get the 2 temp. Thank you, thank you. I get my 2 temp health. Yep. All right. So they roll a 3, which means they're going to try to web tether me. So they'll try to immobilize me. And I do have the potential to pass this. So it says at the beginning of their activation as let's read this. As a free action. At the beginning of their activation as a free action, you may pass a brain. At the beginning of their activation as a free action, there's probably some mistyping here. So George, I'm gonna need some help with this one. You may pass a 7 athletics, but then there's a 3-8 here. A will 7, athletics 3, 8 evade, I assume, or acrobatics 4 to remove immobilize. The way this is written, this is confusing. I think I get how it works. Yeah, I think I get how this works, but we'll remove the immobilize at the beginning of my activation as a free action. So I need to beat this this test. I need to get a 6, or I will become immobilized. And at the beginning of my turn, I can do this test for free to not be immobilized. And we get to pick which one we want to do. My athletics is 1, so no. This is... Well, first I gotta deal with this. Let's deal with this. Let's deal with that first. So it's a 6 +1. So it's a 7 I have to beat. I can beat it, but I have to roll perfect. What? What? I beat it. I got it. I met it. So that's a 7. So the first one doesn't hit, but the second one could. Yep, the second one definitely did. So they will deal 1 damage to me. Plus I will become immobilized. So that temp health will come off that 1 temp health. And then I will become immobilized. So at the beginning of my turn, I get to see if I may, as a free action, I can try to pass a test to remove immobilize. Immobilize says heroes can't leave their current zone, lasts until the end of next round. So we take an immobilized token, and we put it on end of next. We put it on the next round slot that's on there. For people who are curious of what the hell I'm talking about, right here. So we take the immobilized token, and we put it at next round here. And so when next round comes around, we'll move it into the round, and then it'll come off. So that's what that means. All right. Since you have the skill athletics, you can roll a d6 + 6 for your strength, and you just have to beat 3, which is probably what I'm going to do to get that removed anyway. So we'll do athletics. I just need a 3. There we go, I beat it. So as a free action, I'm not immobilized. I step over that stupid web, and then I'm like, you know what, you little jerks? 6 + 6, 12, which is the 1 damage I need to kill both of you as a sweeping strike. And you're dead. So we beat them. We get 2 more treasure. 1, 2. So let's take a look at our 2 treasures. We get a random armor. We're going to roll a d6 to see what our random armor is. 5, So we'll grab the random armors, give them a shuffle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means our armor is going to be hide armor. Canje the sweeper. Controlling 2 characters is the only way to play solo, Zembo. So I get hide armor. I already have hide armor, but you sell it for 4 gold, so I'm going to throw that in the bag. So that'll get thrown in the bag. And then the other one is magic weapon property. 1 magic weapon property. So we're going to roll our die. 6. And we're going to go to magic weapon property. So I'm going to put that back after I record it down. We got a magic, so I only have 5 cards, so 6. When I roll a 6, I think that means I get to pick. Yeah, we're going to do that one. There we go. So we get +1 attack, and the weapon's damage is considered to be fire. So there we go. I rolled a 6. If I rolled a 5, I would have picked from the 5 one. So that is the magic weapon property that we're going to pick up. All right. We're going to leave these out. Where's my pen? I did draw from the deck. But the deck only has 5 in it. That's why I just randomly rolled. I like random rolling whenever it says you get a random thing. And if there's 6, I'll shuffle the deck, roll a d6, and that's what I get. All right, so hide armor. Sells for 4 gold. I'll throw this back in the armor kit. And then we got a lovely fire thing enhancement that we're going to throw on our lovely maul, because that just sounds fun. So it gets +1 attack and fire damage, which I'll fill that out in a second. Okay, so that was the 2 treasure. Then we get 2 more experience, so that puts us a 6 of 10. 10 is when we can do upgrades. So 6 of 10. Armor card slot, for people who are curious. What you do, these are your backpack slots. So either you're going to put on your armor and put the armor that you have in a backpack slot, or you're going to drop it and say you don't want it, and it drops on the ground for anyone to pick up, right? So you just kind of drop it on the ground. But there's no armor slots. What you do is you write them in or you equip them. So that's how they work. We killed you, so we'll shuffle you back in here. So that was the fight. Then we shall continue. Oh, we're going to rest. We're going to camp so that we could bring, because our poor cleric is down for the count. And our rage is over, which means we gain a fatigue, right? Until the end of combat. And we're going to camp. So we're going to use the camping stuff. We're going to spend this, the 2 food that we need to camp. So 1 food per hero. And the camping lets us rest up. If I remember, let me look up camp. I love that I put camp and it's short for campaign, so it's going through every single campaign. They are going to add an index to this book. It's just not in the starting rules. So no, Wolfie, that's what I thought, but Thanos corrected me and said you can camp in there. I thought you couldn't either, but then Thanos was like, nope, you are wrong as 2 left shoes. You can camp wherever the heck you want. I'm gonna put camping because this thing just keeps saying campaign. Grants a short rest. During short rest, all heroes heal health equal to half their max health and refresh 1 daily sphere per tier. Camping supplies is the backpack item. So we're going to use, okay, so we heal half health. So you don't go back to full. You'll get 3. You didn't take any damage. And we'll refresh a sphere, which is Path of Rage. Lose that fatigue. We don't need to deal with that. And we're good. There we go. Okay, so we got that going. We camped. We're good. We're solid. We're going for. I don't feel like fighting another enemy right now, so I'm not going to search this room. We're actually going to go for the connector. So this is the connector room. We move in, but we still have to do area control on the connector. Here's my area control card. Are you kidding me? Draw an elite enemy. An elite. Damn. Damn. Oh, the shaman's pissed. The shaman is pissed. Sweet. Oh my god. Oh boy. You know what? Why do I even try? Why do I try? Okay, with this elite, with elite creatures, it's very specific. It's not like there's 10 elite creatures, there's 1. However, how much health this elite creature has is based on what's there. So basically, to even this out, right? If we're playing with 4 players, he would have 11 health. If we're playing with 3 players, you would just -2 from here, so he would have 9 health. Because we're playing, with 2 players, he's going to have -4 health, which will take him to 7 health only, and all his attributes are -1. So all his attributes here are going to be -1, so 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, 5. Oh my god, we're going to die! Black or white with the dice. So, cool. Y'all get to see an elite fight today. Why not? He's immune to poison and mobilize. He's resistant to necrotic. Vulnerable to lightning. I should have picked lightning. So, what's this? Mukla Spirit Host. The ancestral frog spirit reveals deadly secrets and weaknesses of the shaman's foes. Shaman's target becomes the hero with the lowest defense or save versus the resultant attack. So his target's going to change a lot. Okay. So AoE splash damage. If I roll a 1 or 2, it doesn't matter what mod I roll. If I roll a splash or an AoE attack, if it's a 1 or 2, it's an AoE attack anyway. Lovely saves. Call for the Batrachi. The shaman heals all remaining frog folk for 2 health. Okay, so you don't have friends. Oh my god. Containment swamp gas. Really? What the hell is that? I've never seen that symbol. I'm gonna have to look that up. So let's look that up and see what the hell I got myself into here. Stun. So this symbol is necrotic damage, 2 necrotic damage. He's going to heal some friends, which means he could probably summon some friends. Cool. This one is, what is that symbol? That is willpower, a willpower save or stun. Be a Mukla. A grit save, or a hero is polymorphed into a tiny frog and is removed from play until the end of the next round. Be a Mukla cannot be used on 2 and 3 player part. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Okay, so this would be bad. This would be bad. So basically, if I roll this, nothing's gonna happen because it can't be used on a 2. So a 6 is a breath of fresh air. This is what this is telling me. But on a 4-player game, oh yeah, that's gonna hurt. Via Mukla cannot be used on a 2 and 3-player party. Okay, if we beat him 2 treasure 3, we've already got 2, 4, so this will put us at 7 experience. Okay, all right. You don't have ambush, do you? Thank God, you don't have ambush. Okay. We're gonna break out the big mini, the biggie. I don't have the frog one, so I'm going to use this bastard. So I'm going to use this thing as, yeah, look at this mini. This thing is nuts. Look at that thing. Why would this thing exist? Like, who made this and thought it was a good idea? Why is he carrying a coffin? It's just so many things. To goof. Do I even want you to be the target? Sure. Because I want the assist from you. Good Lord. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. All right. Kate, you're supposed to be on my side, remember? We're friends. We're supposed to be friends. All right, let's I'm not showing the boards because y'all have all seen the boards, right? If I had the table space, because if I zoom out fully, I don't know if it can. So let me. If I zoom out fully, are you all able to see this, and this? Let me just roll a die. Can you all see all of that? I can stay out of this view so you can see that. I usually zoomed in so you can be close to the combat. But if you can see from this view and you want to see how the boards shake out, we can do that. Did we make that agreement? Oh my gosh. Okay, so his health is 7. Cool. And he gets to go first because that's the first round of combat. So here we go. Here goes something. A 3, a +1. Yeah, y'all can't see the card like that. I need to do it like this so you can see the card. So you can follow along. So this is where we are. And there's your enemy card and the area control over here. So a 3, which would have been anyway, we have to do a save against a 7 for both of us. Okay, so the cleric fails. Let's just call the cleric an auto fail. And you fail too. So it's 2 necrotic damage that we're taking. So therefore, the barbarian will take 2. And the cleric will take 2, taking him back to 5. At least we're not poisoned. Thank God. Okay, so the hero with the lowest defense or save, it would have been you anyway, so you would have been the target of that attack. But it's an AoE, but that would be you were the target of it. All right. My turn, because that's the end of the first round of combat. My turn. So the cleric just has to try to hit you. And I roll a d8. I need a 4. I need a 4 or higher. So basically I need to roll a 3 or higher to hit you. 3 or higher. Here we go. I'm going to use my heroic token to attack again, because that's hot trash. +7, +1, 8, which is enough to hit. That is just 1 damage that's going on you. So I'll just put it here. However, I still trigger this. That gives me. I still trigger my eulogy. That will give the barbarian +2. So barbarian's going all path of rage. All the path of rage that the barbarian can muster, gaining the 2 temp. And hitting this bad boy up. 7 is a crit. 7 is a crit. Ooh, I forgot. I get a +1 to my crit chance. I get a +1 to my crit chance on a Morningstar. 7 is a crit. So I roll another, which is an 8 divided by 4, which is 2, +1, 3. So it actually would be 3 damage. Thank you. That's great that happened. That's great that happened. Okay. That's 3. So he's down to 4 health. He's down to 4 health. Barbarian strike with advantage. That one was stupid. Crit! Double crit! All the way. Crit! What? 10 divided by 4. Holy biscuits. Holy biscuits. Holy biscuits. That's 2 +1, 3. Oh my god. So that's 3. So that's 6. That's 6 damage. 6 damage on him in 1 strike with double crits. Ermagerd. You get double 0. All right, so he has 1 health left. He has 1 health left. So he gets to go on his turn to see what he's going to do. Oh my gosh, that is nuts. Here we go. 3, which is another acid splash. You're going to fail. Hey, you're going down again. 2, 4, 5. Yep, you can't stop that. You cannot save against that. That's just bad news for you. But you failed it. So you're going to take 2. That's going to come off your temporary 2. And you bite the dust. Because that is way more than enough damage to kill you. Okay. Barbarian's turn. Because you know, it's a thing. I just have to hit you once. 5 plus 6, 11 against your 4, which is enough, and it kills you. And there we go. He's dead. All right, so we gain, so we beat this elite. We gain 2. What did we gain? This wasn't supposed to be back in here, right? Yeah, that one's supposed to be in there. So we gain 2. We got a wondrous item. And we got a brass lantern that flashes during the witching hour. Cool. How's the cleric alive? It's 2 necrotic, which was enough to take him down. Y'all are going to have to run through that. You're going to have to run through that, George. Wondrous item. So let's grab wondrous, and we're going to roll and see what this wondrous item is. Oh, they're over here. So these are wondrous items that we get. We're just going to draw from the wondrous item stack. Wondrous item, something amazing. Oh, he has necrotic resistance. You're right. He wouldn't. You're right. It would have been half. So he wouldn't have gone down. You're right. He's still up. You're right. Up. Yep, that's right. That is part of his, that's part of his trait, the Necrian. Yep, so it's just 1 damage. So he's alive. So we get a wondrous item. RNG, giveth RNG, take it away. And I'm going to just shuffle these because it doesn't say what. Oh, it says curiosity. Curiosity, wondrous item. This is the first time I got a wondrous item, so let's read in the rule book what it means. Wondrous item. Wondrous. Wonder. There we go. Item. Oh, there's 10 billion of those. Did I spell it wrong? Wondrous. Wondrous cards are placed here. Only 4 wondrous items can be equipped at any given moment, regardless. Okay. Markets for wondrous items. Just draw a wondrous item card. Okay. Because it says curiosity. That's why I was about it. I was looking up in the rules what that meant. We're going through this together, you know. You got to point out where things are so people who are like, hey, I'm watching his videos later and I saw you say wondrous and somebody just told you to draw a card. Where is that in the rule book? I've been asked questions like that before. So that's why it's like, yeah, I could just draw one, but where does it say that you just draw one in the rule book on the page number? Because people are going to ask that question. The curiosity was the other item, and it means you can only sell it at a specific vendor. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, people will ask. There's a lot of people who are going to be very curious about this game. And one of the things they will always do is they'll be like, hey, where in the rule book did you see this? So keep that in mind. So we'll draw one here, shuffle this up. We'll draw our wondrous item that we got. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's roll a d12. D12 to see what we get. 2. 1, 2. This is going to be our wondrous item. The Band of Nuhala. Zimbo, I'll get to that at the end for sure. The Band of Nuhala, tier 1 trinket. I get +2 to a dexterity check. Cool. Yep. For years uncounted, Erlia courted a lot of sylphs. Tales spoke of the emergence of a rarer progeny, yet Erlia found herself unable to pass down her celestial endowments, save for the bestowed grace of swiftness. These descendants, each remarkable in their own right, bore a countenance and demeanor distinct from their lineage. Being distant and esoteric, the Nuhalas departed from any sylphan prides or colonies. So we gained ourselves a tier 1 wondrous item that we will give to the barbarian because he just kind of earned that. And we also got a brass lantern, so I'm just going to slot that in there. And we got our wondrous item. That's there. Okay. And we got 3 experience, which puts us at, what's it? We've had 2, 4, 6 plus 3, 9. So 9. Take that, frog jerk. Take that. Okay, so we hit a connector. Lord, this thing just slides way too much. We go here. Heroes come back. This goes away. And we hit a connector. Because I completed combat. This would be exhausted. I do gain a fatigue for using that. but you're still alive and you'll get the Mend Wounds card back, which you're going to use right now on yourself. Again, to heal for 3. Alright, so we just completed that. That was the last card in that set. I'm not exploring. Let's go to the part 2 dungeon. There's the green dungeon door that we want, that we see is coming up next. We just need to survive this one. And I'm not gonna search this room, but I'm gonna move down and we're going to do area of control. Dice. Look. 4. Draw an extra treasure token during a search in this zone. Nope. We're gonna carry on to the green dungeon. So we got the green dungeon that's here. Let's put it... Ooh, this is shaped funky. Let's just say we walked in this way then. So then I could do that. We'll move over here. So the booketh say... The booketh of adventures, says... Oh, we got to go through the door first before we read it. Okay, so we got to do area control first. 11. I don't want to. Can I not? Can I not? I'm gonna house rule because I want to get y'all to the more story. So this says I would draw an elite enemy and a standard enemy and have to fight them. No, I am going to say through the magic of television that what you saw was this 5 that shook itself and turned into a 3. I don't want to fight anything right now. So that's a 9, which is the room's empty. So then we'll go to the door, and because we have the green rune, we unlock the door, and it says when the heroes unlock the green dungeon by using the green rune, read clue 2. With some effort, you clear the obstacle and move into the cloistered space of the dome. The dampness in this area seems to have dissipated, allowing you to stand and marvel at the remarkable masonry adorning the walls. As you glance along the wall lining, you notice a passage etched with hieroglyphic symbols. If you are a Gerudo or succeed in the Cult 6, History 7, we can read clue 3. In the center of the cloistered dome, a small dais stands upon which rests a ritualistic bowl. The bowl is empty, but for a small rod made of a silver-looking alloy. Gain keyword magnetic rod. If you already have keyword magnetic rod, read clue 4. And I think we already have it. Yeah, we already have it. Both parts magnetize each other and form a key of sorts. Gain elemental key. Each player gains 2 experience. You may end your exploration by returning back to the entrance. So we can return back to the entrance, but we gained elemental key. Elemental key, is that a special thingamado? It says a curiosity. I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have it. So then at the end of that, we then move. We then just have to get back. And I don't face any enemies as I walk back unless there are wandering monsters in the dungeon, but there aren't. So boom, 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 and we walk out. So we gain 2 experience and we're out of the dungeon. So overall we've gained 6 + 3, 9, 10, 11 experience as we walk out of the dungeon and back to the overworld map. This is the dungeon crawl aspect of the game. This is the combat, which is what I really wanted to show off. And the varying enemies that are in here who have... These enemies are vastly different, are very, very different. There is a decomposed corpse. There's an octopus. You've seen the spiders and the frogs. There's skeletons to fight, and there's a frog warrior that we could take on, which is specific to this murky area. And then we've got these... a giant centipede that, thank God, I didn't draw. A water weird, and a frog folk shaman that we could face as elite enemies as you go against them. In this game, and we're going to take a beat here, go back here, and I'm going to go to the game found page for Story of Many. Hey, look, I have it on speed dial. Oh, how did it know? How did it know this is what I wanted? That I had looked up a bunch. So, Story of Many goes live in basically 2 days, or 1 day, 24 hours, however you. And of course, George, who's in the chat, who's chatting with us now, as well as Thanos, that's in there as well. Those are the two gentlemen who I spoke with personally for Haunted Mill games. So it's a 1 to 4 player game, as you saw. So let's talk about a few things for me. I didn't do the upgrades, but I wanted to take you on a holistic adventure so you can see just kind of a taste of what to expect in this playthrough. Did a dungeon work, all that other good stuff. But it's 1 to 4 players. As you can see from the pre-generated characters that come with each one pre-generated per class, you've got a lot of options. If you choose not to use a pre-generated character, I did not scroll to what it was for us to fight for starting your game. So you get to choose your adventure if you're going to do a campaign or a one-shot. And a one-shot's basically you go to a dungeon, you're done, game session's done, wrap it up, send it home. Chapter 2 does character creation. So let's go to character creation on chapter 2. So if you're going to create your character, you just follow the rulebook chapter 2 for how you create your character. You're going to select your class, you're going to select your race, your name, and then your starting skills based on what you have. There's a difficulty settings based on this for people who are getting into the game. Of course, the fighter is the easiest to use, which I didn't use. I used the barbarian, which was the second easiest. The hardest looks like to be the seer. Yeah, the seer seems to be the hardest difficulty to learn present case of what's going on. So you get to pick which you want, and then you start building out your sphere and start building out your loadout of what you have of your starting equipment. So you don't have to use the pre-gens whatsoever. They are there to just help you get into the adventure for your first play, and then from there you can continue to build your character. So each character does, I will tell you, each character does play differently. You saw the cleric kind of rolling different dice than the barbarian. D&D players will full well know, will recognize that, or anybody who plays an RPG, it doesn't have to be D&D, it could be whatever, right? Anybody who plays an RPG or has played an RPG in their life understands the differences in dice rolls based on the class that you play because of the weapons that you have. You can get new weapons, you can buy new weapons, you can sell the stuff, you have to get money to buy more things at stores. You can, you can not only level yourself up with the spheres, which is kind of character leveling, you can also level up armor so you can wear better gear based on what you can buy. So just keep that in mind for what's there. So when we're talking about modularity in this game is as modular as an RPG, because as George said, this is supposed to be a DM or GM, so dungeon master or guild master or whatever. I use DMs. Where you don't have one, you are running the game in your story of what's set up there. So you get to pick what's going to be on there, right, for your characters. This is kind of a written-in thing, but because you can level that up, your max health can go up, so you're not stuck at that. So you've got a lot of ways to mix and match your character, especially with these, like this paladin stuff, right? You've got 4 branches of fighting plus paladin, so your paladin will not be the same as your friend's paladin. It's not going to be the same as this other type that's on there, right? So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Every build will be different, and you can be very specific or as unique as you want to be for these playthroughs, right? So I'm giving you, I'm trying, what I'm mentioning, why I'm mentioning all this is for everyone to kind of understand what you're getting into with this game. Um, it's an RPG. If role-playing game for people who don't know what that means. If you do not like RPGs, this game is not for you, right? If you're like, no, I want a game, I want a civ-based game where it's area control, or I want to play a game like Twilight Imperium where it's 4X, or I want to play these other different genres of games, and I don't like RPGs, this game isn't for you. However, if you like RPGs, Oathsworns, any of the dungeon crawls, if you've played D100 Dungeon, For Against the Darkness, any RPG, book-based RPG, and you completely love it, check the game out. See what you think of it, because I know George and Thanos, when I chatted with the two guys, they told me that they grew up playing these RPGs and they wanted to represent that in their world. And so that's what you're getting, right? That's what you're getting. So, it says 150-minute playtime. Of course, my streams are going to go longer because I'm explaining stuff, we're stopping, we're answering questions, we're going through. But when you get your game, I think this is variable. It could be less, it could be more. It just depends on how you want to play the game. If you want to go for a straight sandbox, which I could have done, if I did not ever want to go into a dungeon, I have that choice. I can walk the world discovering rumors, unlocking different things. I never have to step foot in a dungeon if I don't want. That's the sandbox beauty of the game. It would behoove you to do it because that's where you find really good loot, really good items, but you don't have to. You can walk the world on the adventure phase and just do rumors and pop up new rumors and discover it and actually learn the lore of the world by just walking around. You can do that. This is the option for you. That's why it's set itself up as a sandbox game if you want to do that. Once you finish a mini dungeon, you pop out of the mini dungeon and you continue on with the story. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking. When they say open world, they mean it. They mean it's an open world exploration game. The world is your oyster. Go figure it out. 56 unique regions. So what the rumors that you saw in this prototype are just a handful or a few of the rumors that are in this game. So they're saying there are 200 plus rumors, which means the world is freaking vast. So there you go. Narrative branching, so that's when you go through the campaign. 40 plus adventures that are on there, so those are the little dungeons and different things that you go on. Stunning overworld experience just means the map's pretty. I mean, let's be real, the map's pretty. Don't look at it. It's just buzzwording for the map's pretty. Narrative procedural content generation. You saw that happen as I was doing the adventure phase. The end is when you choose it to be, Jess. That's the thing about the open world sandbox model. The campaign, yes, the campaigns do have an end to the campaigns. In these stories, when you go to a campaign, which is what I started, the campaign has actually bits and story pieces that gets read as you go through the campaign, and then there's an ending and a resolution to that campaign. So yes, the campaigns have an ending, but guess what? You start the next campaign, part 2. You start the next campaign, part 3. You keep going, so you determine when the game ends, but the campaign ends, right? Yeah, there's no big bad evil guy. There's just the world that you're going through. This thing you're not trying to stop Vecna. You're just playing through it. A lot of people don't know who that is. So yeah, you're not. Vecna has an overhead projector that he's using to try to teach you math. You must destroy him. So 180. unique monsters. So this because they didn't have the minis fully completed for the prototype meant that I use these, but each of the minis are different. And from the update, because I asked them this question, let's go to this update. Was it update number 5? I think it was update number 5. I think it was update number 5. One of the things I asked George, I said, hey, George, minis are fantastic. Minis are great. Not everybody loves them. And George was like, go to update number 5. So, update number 5, we scroll down. These are all the components that you're getting with the game. Oh, hold on. There you go. Right there. This is what he took me to. So there's a bunch of minis for people who love minis. But guess what? If you don't want minis, there's some standees for you. You don't need minis. You don't have to have all that cluttering up. They're offering a mini version and a standee version, which is pretty cool. So you get your choice. You get to pick. You get to have miniatures if you want, which are these wonderful minis that George wanted me to showcase, right? So big creepy guy and stuff like that you saw. But if you don't want miniatures, that's okay. You can get standees. So, but that's the thing, Jess. That's why they did this, because he was saying, hey, some people might turn away from this game because there's 180 miniatures. That's too many, right? That's a lot of miniatures for people to deal with. We want people to like the game for, I'm trying to remember what said George, but we want people to like the game, for the mechanics of the game, for the story of the game, for the lore of the game, and not have miniatures be the barrier to entry of something that of our system that someone will potentially like but are turned off because there's all these minis. The minis are there for people who want them, but if you don't want minis and you don't want them, here's some standees. You have an option for standees in the game. I just wanted to point that out because that was a big thing for me when I was like, when we were going through, when he was showcasing me the game and teaching me how to play it, him and Thanos, they were I gave them two bits of feedback when I did that. 2 bits of feedback. The first bit of feedback, I said, can you put all of the keywords on 1 or 2 pages, or on the same page? And he was like, well, it would take up a full page. I was like, I don't care. Flip the page over. I can have 1 page with double-sided and put it on there, and that would be perfect. So they said, hey, that's a good idea, and they wrote down some notes. And then the second thing I said to him was, I don't know if I want that many minis because that means I'm gonna have to paint it and hear the wrath of Brian for not painting minis. And that's when he told me, he's like, go to update 5 and scroll down. Here's exactly, this is the answer to your question. We are offering a standee version if you don't want minis. So okay, just so you're aware of what that is. Let's see. Let's scroll down. So these are the different classes. Ooh, there's a special class that we don't know about. I didn't see that guy before. Legacy components that you keep rolling with you, of course. Replayability, 3 different campaigns. Words beyond measure. Campaign hours beyond measure that you can play. I do agree. Like usually when people look at this, so I've heard a very interesting statement when people talk about campaign-based games, and they talk about, all right, well, it says 60 plus hours or a billion plus hours, and they call this a lot of fluff. And then they say they get the ultimate character customization, and they sit there and they're like, well, that's not true, or this is all fluff wording. I disagree with that. They're entitled to their own opinion. I think that this does have character customization in it because based on the spheres, you can make any type of paladin you want. Based on the shops and the armors and the things that you unlock in the world going from tier 1 to tier 2 to tier 3, You can make any loadout that you want. You can make a retribution paladin if you want to. That's how much you can customize the game. So, right? No fighter will ever be the same. That's for darn sure. so, so preparation and saving under 15 minutes if you're going to save your game to go through it. And it says refreshing combat. You saw the combat that happened in here. I stopped to explain a lot, and I went through things really fast, and then I stopped and I went back and I re-explained them. Was because the combat. So when we talk about the combat, there's different ways to approach this, and different people will approach it different ways. What I mean by that is you have this combat set that if you break it down to its base mechanics, which a lot of people will do, and this is why I'm saying this, a lot of people will do this, it's going to be, okay, I pull a card, I roll the monster dice, I roll my dice, I roll my dice, I roll the monster dice, I roll my dice, and I rinse and repeat. At the base level of this game, that's the mechanic, right? But at the base level of any game, that's the mechanic of a dungeon crawler. You roll dice. At the base level of D&D, that's the mechanic. You roll dice and you determine what comes of it. If you're of the mindset that, okay, all I'm going to look at the base mechanics and then get bored, don't even get this game. Because that's not what this game is about. This game is not about the base mechanic. It's about everything, all the different puzzle pieces put together to give you an experience. And that experience is I get to dungeon walk through a thicker than what you saw here stack of dungeon tiles to try to accomplish a goal, the experience. When I run into monsters, the monsters each behave differently, and how they attack becomes very effective against how I'm trying to deal with them based on my level experience. Once I come through and I get to different key points of a dungeon, and I can keep saying experience, then I get to read clues to determine the evolving story of my journey through this dungeon. And I think that is what this dev team is going for. It's not saying, yes, at the end of the day, you're rolling dice, but that's every game that you play. You roll dice in Nemesis at the end of the day. You roll dice in Hexplorage. You roll dice in almost every US game that you play. You just have to think about what you want to get out of it. And if you're coming in here to get out an open world experience of a game, this game has that. So if that's what you're going in for, that's what you're going to get. If you're going in for you want the most mage knighty complex mechanics, it's not what RPGs are. That's not they've never been that way, and you're just kind of ice skating uphill with that. Yeah, so just keep that in mind when you're looking at this game, right? Oh my gosh. What the hell is that? So it looks like oh, this is when they were at Essen. So this is when they're at Essen. So yeah, okay. So let me scroll up and see if there are any questions because I'm at the end of my rant. Let's see. I just want to make sure. So when people are saying, "Hey, Derek, 1 out of 10, how do you view this game?" I don't have that answer. For me, I would say that this game is fun. I've played this game 3 times so far. 3 times, including this one 4. So I've played it 4 times so far. And the area control roles were all different. The dungeon tiles were different. The mission, the adventure that I did on the world map was different. I went completely different directions in all 4 and experienced something different. So I can't give a 1 out of 10. I think that if you like I'll say if you like RPGs and you enjoy story and you enjoy exploration and open sandbox gaming, you will like this game. I will tell you that. For the rest of it, you have to determine what your preference is. Let's see. Spot the largest mini and assume the unboss. That's funny. Mini clutter. Oh, this is when I was talking about the minis. Brian's giving Derek a hard time. Brian always gives me a hard time. That's just his job. That's his job. There probably might be. There probably might be. We'll let Thanos and George answer that. To add to what Dirk's saying, you just saw a playthrough with fresh characters with one ability each. As you level up, you're going to have many different options. Yep. Variability. Can a player replay the campaign and continue to build the same character? Do you mean coming to an ending of one of the 3 story arcs? We'll see what that answer is going to be. I do think more RPG-inspired board games should at least attempt to create equally interesting non-combat encounters involving NPCs or investigations. This game does do that. Looks like the answer is yes or all 3. For me, it's how characters' progression happens along with loot. Does it stay balanced late game? It's a good question. That's a good question. I've just played with the prefabs going through. I went through half of campaign 1. And it was fun. But we wanted to keep the fresh player experience easy and simple so you can get familiarized with the mechanics first. Yeah. You pick up a new party when you reach at the end, not like Gloomhaven. You see, does that head creature have a miniature? Oh my god! Please say no. Please say yes. Sadly, no. Canje, is it better than Folklore the Affliction? Yes. 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 I will say it's better than Folklore. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. All right, let's head back up. Folklore had... I love Folklore's monsters, but that attack roll thing, if you're a bad dice roller, ugh. But Folklore is over 10 years old. If you're a bad dice roller, Folklore is... And the monsters aren't balanced. The monsters aren't balanced. But yes, better than Folklore. Alright, that was Story of Many. This was a preview playthrough. I know that I have to make sure I mention that. Everything you see here is subject to change. The game is... You've seen a lot to see that the game is pretty... It's not just concept, should I say. It's not just concept. It's, in effect, it's actual. So you see it. So you've seen a lot of mechanics. Just kind of an idea of your skills. These are all the skill cards that you're going to have. So all the different skills that are available came in the prototype, which means they have a lot more to go. But you have enough meat on the bone right there for you to sink your teeth into to play. Just keep your eye on the page for any updates that are coming in. I know that George and Thanos will be able to go through and answer any of those questions that you have. They've been very responsive in the chat to what's going on. Yeah, they've been very responsive in the chats to people who are asking questions. So if you have questions or curiosities or something wasn't covered here that you were super curious about, ask them in the comment section of the Game Pound page to see what's going on. Do not sink your teeth into the deck of cards. You're not my real dad. You don't get to tell me what to do. So, that's going to end it for this playthrough. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of Story of Many. Once again, I almost called... I always get him confused with his uncle. Rolling Solo has a playthrough of this as well. So go over to check out his channel if you haven't already, because he's super amazing and very friendly. Go check him out. Thank you so much, Dan, for becoming a supporter. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. So go check out his playthrough. He has one as well, so you can see how different his playthrough is from mine. So you can see how that sets up. And there will be others covering this as well. This campaign goes live in 2 days. It will be going live for everyone to try. And I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you so much. Thank you to subscribers. I really appreciate you so much. And if you're neither, never choose to be, you're just hanging out in the background because you like to hear my raspy voice and like to watch my friends make fun of me. So I put air quotes, my friends make fun of me in chat and wish for my demise on bad dice rolls. I appreciate you coming in here as well. Just know, 2 days, story many. Other than that, I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Bye, everybody.